Look at all the bunnies sleeping till it's nearly noon. Shall we wake them with a merry tune? Oh, so still are they ill? Wake up, wake up, wake up, little bunnies. Wake up, wake up, wake up, little bunnies. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Stop, little bunnies, stop, stop, stop.
All right, and we're live. That wasn't my voice.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Greetings.
Greetings.
That was actually a librarian from some library someplace. Got that off of YouTube. But, yeah, the bunny invasion, huh?
Bunny invasion.
Yeah. So we have a whole ton of bunnies that appeared in all the POTs for no reason, apparently.
Outrageous.
Very chaotic.
Well, chaotic things, I suppose, are appropriate on the day of the birth, the celebration of the birth of the Dark One.
The Dark
So
One.
when one bunny loves another bunny, then there's a bunny invasion.
Every bunny loves some bunny.
Yeah. Is that
I
what
got
happens?
a little bunny, and then I got another bunny. Don't one and one make two?
No, 1 and 1 make 1,000. Yay! Okay, so let's do the official stuff. Scroll back.
Belladonna Rose says, "Do not take my bunnies away."
Sorry, I think the bunny they're migratory bunnies.
Migratory.
Yeah, so
migratory.
You have to migratory. You have to feed them coconuts, and then they'll go off and migrate with the coconuts.
Do they
Okay.
stay around throughout the weekend?
Let me see. Where am I? Oh, welcome to Shroud of the Avatars, release 124 live stream. Each month we have a live stream the day after we publish the major update. This month's update is release 124. We are now in our 11th year of updates. Every month. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, it's so easy to do. It's like a breeze.
So easy.
Yeah.
It's all automatic, right? You just push the button, and it just happens all by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, who needs a sleep schedule?
Oh god. So, Shroud of the Avatar is a free-to-play online game with over 400 scenes to explore. Follow us here on Twitch, Facebook at Shroud of the Avatar, Twitter at Shroud of Avatar, or via the RSS on our website, shroudoftheavatar.com. We have forums in there as well, and all sorts of social stuff. We have at least one live stream a month providing updates on game development, as well as upcoming events and sales. Today is a special live stream. We will have at least 6 prize-winning giveaways.
Woohoo!
To enter, type the phrase "Happy Birthday Darkstarr" into any in-game chat, including whispers. Players can enter the phrase in-game anytime prior to or during the live stream, up to when the drawings are drawn to enter. We'll be adding a round of prize drawings for each hype train level completed by the folks watching the stream in Twitch. So hype it up, guys. Get more prizes. And
I've never really known what are the actual rules of hype train? Do you have to like double each base nub to get to the next level of hype train, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's a good question. The only rules that I know are how often we allow a hype train, and we have ours set to the absolute minimum Twitch will allow, which is, I believe, 1 hour. So basically, if they do a bunch of hype trains and keep keep hyping, which I think is doing cheers or bits, something along those lines, right? I think it's cheers.
Hype train is already closed. 2 more people need to subscribe or gift or use bits.
There you go. So, and if you keep doing that without, there's a period of time that if nothing happens, then the hype train shuts down. And if it goes all the way up, the top level is level 5. So you complete 5 levels. We add 5 more drawings to the stream for that hour. And then at the top of the next hour, assuming that we keep going, then you could do another hype train at that point.
Pause a moment. As Modi Mool says, can still barely hear Ravalox. Is everyone else having problems hearing Ravalox?
No, I can hear him.
Chat?
I can hear him
You're a
great
little
on my
bit-
end.
You're a tiny bit quieter than others, Stephen, but
Okay.
seems pretty good.
Yeah,
Hmm.
seems like your volume is lower than ours.
Oh, great.
Weird.
Just lovely. Yeah, actually, I see it on the bar. It's set to max. But well, I can turn up my gain a little bit, I suppose, on the mic. I mean,
You need to speak from the diaphragm.
yeah, there you go.
Project like you're on stage.
And here we are, WKRP in Cincinnati. We are live and ready to go. No. So you see, it's not. It's still not loud. It's barely hitting the yellow. So I have no idea. I was right on top of the mic.
Okay. You're low, but you are audible, so
Yeah.
it'll just have to suffice.
Sorry. Okay.
We'll make up for it. We'll just
there
be
you go.
really loud, so people will be listening very attentively while you're talking, and then we'll blow their eardrums.
Yeah,
when we
you guys will just have to repeat everything I say. That's all.
Okay, we'll just repeat everything you say. That's all.
We'll just repeat everything you say. That's all.
You just like Galaxy Quest.
Like Galaxy.
Okay, so that's the preamble. So now we go down for introductions, and we will. I'll start with myself this time around. I am Ravalox, otherwise known as Stephen Reinen, and I am the current showrunner of the game, and do various dev stuff and operations and community management stuff, and geez, it's a team effort, tell you the truth. So that's all I have to say. I am going to head over to Castle Atos while we do the rest of the introductions, and I just want to inject one more thing, that everybody should go to Castle Atos if you're within the sound of my voice, my very low voice, to take part in the buff that's out there. So the more players we have in Castle Atos, the higher the buff level, and I believe everybody wants to get it up to max today. So with that said, Star, I'll hand it to you to go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Well, hello everyone.
Birthday boy. Sorry.
Oh, it is.
Yay!
Right. So Ravalox just asked everyone to go to Castle Atos because apparently there is some kind of buff going on that we want to max out. So in case you couldn't hear Ravalox, go to Castle Atos. And then he introduced me. So hello everyone. I'm Darkstarr, also known by my real name, Star Long, and Richard and I and the rest of this motley gang have been making games for a very long time, and now we're older and wiser, right, Richard? And which
One of those things is true.
yeah, which I think one of our attendees today, Key Man of Soar, said we'll still keep doing dumb stuff. And speaking of that, Richard, my daughter was talking about, like making videos and posting them. And I'm like, oh yeah, there's a really good video of me on YouTube opening a beer with a rocket. And
That's true.
She's like, what are you talking about? And so I showed her that YouTube video of us opening the beer with a rocket, which I posted there in the chat. So if you want to be highly entertained of people doing very stupid things, that is we tied a string to a model rocket, and then one end to the model rocket and the other end to a beer which I held in my hand, and opened the beer with model rocket.
And before you go, it was really stupid, but it was really stupid. It wasn't quite as stupid as it could have been, because you did have a protective glove on and you had protective eye goggles on.
That's right. Yes, I had.
Yeah, it wasn't totally stupid.
I had a welding glove. I had a welding glove on in case like the can like spontaneously shredded in my hand, and I had like safety goggles on. So we weren't being totally stupid, right? Yeah, we just partially stupid. So yeah, so that's me. I'm Starlong, aka Darkstarr, and this was my birthday, and I'm now 54 years old. So you know, I do the kick. I'm 50. Oh, I can't get my leg in the camera.
Oh,
Oh wait, I did. I got the very edge of it. Yeah.
yeah, we saw it. The tip of the toe.
Yeah. So I'm 54.
And we have a random Sanyo join the call too.
Sanyo.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're
Level
welcome.
54. That's right.
Yeah. You're a young pup.
Yeah. So a little over halfway to max level. Yeah, so glad to be here, and thank you, community, for continuing to support this amazing experience. And thank you for joining us today, and thank you for playing. And again, like I've always said, you made this game happen. You know, it wouldn't exist without your support. And you know, as a crowdfunded, crowdsourced game, that's kind of a unique thing. There's not a lot of these that actually happened or were made. So you guys rock. Thank you very much.
Truly stated.
Well, there are a lot that happened or were made. They just didn't last.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
And there's at least one out there that apparently is still being made after 10 years.
Oh.
I don't know what game you're talking about.
Never, yeah, no idea.
And I had a great birthday, South by Southwest, for those who is a big music and interactive and film festival that happens every March in Austin. And so that's what I did for my birthday. I went to South by Southwest, and I've been doing that for 30 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So been to almost every one, except, you know, they didn't have it during the pandemic. And so saw a ton of music and saw a bunch of panels about all sorts of things, including some of the stuff that I do now, which is I build digital twins, which is like virtual worlds, except it's for real places. So and later on in the live stream, I'll show you guys one of the ones we're building right now for the Port of Corpus Christi.
Cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. All right.
Richard.
Yeah, thank you, Darkstarr, Starlong. Happy birthday. What Steven said at the very beginning was that it's Star's birthday, and I don't want to repeat everything again. Can't remember that far back now because Star talked for so long, so I've forgotten all the things that Steven
What I do.
said. But yes, I'm Richard Garriott, sometimes known as Lord British. Also part of the obviously original clan to get this thing all shoved together. Thrilled to be with you all. I am currently in exile up here in the frozen wastelands of the Northeast versus back home in warm Texas with the rest of the team. Hope someday to get back down there. Let's see, what can I tell you guys about what I'm up to these days? I think many of you may know, while I'm up here, I'm serving as president of the Explorers Club. And so I've been doing a lot of exploring the last few years. In fact, during the tenure of this game, I have made it to the North Pole, which I had not been to before this game launched. And I made it to the bottom of the Mariana Trench that I'd never been to before this game launched. And so I'm now the only person who's been pole to pole, orbital space, and to the bottom of the deepest place there is, the bottom of Mariana Trench.
Yay.
So, yay, hooray for travel to the extreme places. And I'm taking my kids if we make it, to the top of Kilimanjaro this summer. So it'll be a big family expedition coming up. In fact, we were training for it today. We were out jogging and hiking today around the flat city, but nothing much we can do to simulate the altitude except maybe climb the stairs of the Empire State Building, which someday we might try.
Well, head over to the Delaware Water Gap. It's only an hour away.
The Delaware Water what?
Gap.
Is that a nice place to climb?
Oh yeah. Take Route 80 all the way out to the border of Pennsylvania, right before you cross the Delaware. And there's a red dot trail. Well, there's blue dots and such and so on. But there's my favorite one is there's a red dot trail that's right at the right before the visitors center at the on the right hand side on the westbound side of Route 80. And that's a good trail to take. It's right at the river. They literally slice through what we call mountains in New Jersey to get through there. So the trail goes all the way up the side of that, and you get a really good view over the stuff. I got pictures of myself hanging off the off cliffs hanging on trees and stuff off that thing. In addition, there's another nice place to go check right there. Is the Old Mine Road that starts at Route 80 at the Visitors Center, right at that same area, and then heads north along the Delaware and goes all the way up to Matamoros, PA. So awesome stuff to do. Great hiking. There's iron ore mines and silver mines up there, and abandoned Boy Scout camps and all sorts of things. There's a dam up there, so definitely worth it.
I will look it up.
That doesn't sound creepy at all. Abandoned Boy Scout camp.
It is creepy.
Same thing.
It's extremely creepy. But yeah, no, it's that was one of my favorite places to go. So
now Richard, when you were mentioning the trip to the North Pole, I remember I made that patch for you a while back when that was happening. Did that also include one or both of your kids as well?
The North Pole, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah,
and the South Pole.
I don't have one within arm's reach, or I'd kind of put one up right here. But yeah, speaking of which, we need a new one for Kilimanjaro.
Okay.
I might have to come talk to you.
Okay.
Some professional services.
Sure, we can talk later. I love designing those patches. I think it's super cool. And the South Pole one you're talking about is back when you went to search for meteorites on those ice plains, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, that was cool. That was really, really neat to hear about that trip too. Well, awesome.
cool deal. Hey, interjection that we have completed 2 levels of Hype Train. And I believe that the last update I saw on the screen was that they were 25% of the way through the 3rd level. But this is one of the things about Twitch, and unless I'm missing something, because I'm not going to claim to be a complete expert in Twitch, there's no way for me to tell on the fly where we actually are on Hype Trains. It just comes up with a banner going across and then it goes away. It's just wonderful. So,
okay.
How's my well, actually my voice looks like it's a little hot now, but I think I'm in better shape. I switched microphones. I gave up on the good microphone. So
on the overhead one.
Yeah, I know what happens.
Who would you like to introduce themselves next?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Let's see, Scott. Well, that would be you. You got to introduce yourself next, Mr. Jones.
Okay.
Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones. No time for love. So I am in the game and on various other formats known as Nimrod Ionescu or Lord Nimrod, but of course in real life I go by Scott Jones, and I am an artist and have been a designer of games even before I worked at Origin many years ago. I created games paper role playing game stuff and did self-publishing, but then started working for Origin many years back. And then have been working on and off in the industry with the folks that are here on the stream, especially some of you more aged gentlemen, similar to myself in age, but not as gracefully aged as I am. See, like, hair. Poor Star. No, but nonetheless, I've enjoyed making games for with you guys for quite some time. And do both environment art and concept art and object art and all kinds of stuff like that. and hopefully we'll be able to do stuff like that for many years more. Because to me, it's been a great pleasure, and here's to many more years of doing cool and creative stuff together. Let's see, who may I pass it on to? Keith, since your shining face is here on the screen with me right now. Let me go ahead and pass it on to you, and then after that, last but certainly not least, we have Alian.
So I'm Keith Quinn, and I'm known by Sanio in the game and the forums. If you're in Castle Atos, you'll see me juggling some purple glowing wisps. You probably know me from doing a ton of quests and setting up bad guy fights and puzzles and adventure scenes and stuff. I also do implement the player-owned towns. Yeah, people see me. I show up for a lot of these things. And I will pass it on to Aliam.
Okay. I am Aliam. I am in charge of release notes and patch notes and the bug forum and small bug fixes where I can do them and new stuff. This last month I have expanded into making chickens and ducks. That's always fun.
Wait, how did you expand into making chickens and ducks? I want to know what. How did you do? Did you like import new art, or do you
No, we already had chickens and
ducks?
We already had chickens and ducks in game, and I just reused those. We have a thing called animal spawners. If you have a deco pet, you can just put it out on your lot, or you can summon it as your personal companion, but you can't put it on player-owned town land. Animal spawners are for that, and they have a little less complicated AI. They're less computationally expensive so that you can do that. And we've had animal spawners, and we have cats and squirrels and rabbits and various other things. Right now. Yes. And so I expanded our selection of animal spawners. So now you put out a little nest that has eggs in it, and a few seconds later a duck shows up.
Nice. Nice. Are you responsible for all the squirrels that I see running around and these rabbits I see running around right now? There's an invasion happening, I tell you.
Me? No. I'm not even in game right now.
Yeah, I added
didn't we even have an invasion of turkeys at one point? Didn't Chris like make some kind of crazy invasion of like man-sized turkeys?
Yep, 6 foot tall turkeys.
The first Thanksgiving, I remember he replaced all the chickens in the game with turkeys, and there are some that are right in central Braemar, so that was very loud.
Yeah.
It was definitely chaotic.
Yep. Currently,
how do turkeys sound, Scotty? How do they sound? What's the noise they make?
Not loud enough.
Did it do it?
No.
Oh, it silenced me. Look at that. It made it to where it wouldn't do it.
What? Why is it silent? Oh,
yeah, why is it doing that?
Noise canceling. It's refusing to let it happen.
Oh.
It hates the noise I'm making.
It's the forbidden sound. It will summon the turkeys.
And it will. They will come.
Oh my God. We have oh my God.
These rabbits can climb over walls and stuff here too.
They're
spreading out. Rabbits and squirrels are taking over, I'm telling you.
Is it happening inside of Castle Atos?
Yeah, I summoned a bunch of squirrels and rabbits in Castle Atos right now, which is a hint that other chaotic things may be summoned in.
I want to see it.
So
I see people asking in stream where Atos is, and I'm not sure whether they're asking about the person or the castle. So you probably should give directions to the castle.
Oh, okay, yeah. Castle Atos is.
So if you know where Sultan is, or if you even know where Soulsbridge Outskirts is, it's in that general vicinity. So there's a long road that travels down from Sultan, down from Soulsbridge Outskirts, past Sultan, and then eventually on to Arteris. But just before you get to that sort of Sultan area, it'll be on the west side of the road. It looks like like a normal town that you can get to. Once you go inside, the town is split. The Castle Atos town is split to like the front half and back half. The front half is like where the villagers and utilities are. and the back half is a big open courtyard where the castle itself is, and you'll see a ton of people in there if you can actually still get us in with us. So
Is it
general
time for
starting
prizes
point
yet?
is called.
What was that?
Steven, how's that the prizes? Or did Steven wait? Did he introduce himself?
Yeah, I kind of
Yes.
did in the
He did
beginning.
introduce himself.
Yeah, and then he handed it off to me.
And by
that's
the
right.
way, I just want to say on the voice chat here too. I've been saying it in the game, but I'd still have people like Beldam Crony. Thank you very much for doing a /friend Lord British, because we are now friends, as about a dozen people so far here on the stream are. I love having everybody on my my friends list, because that way when I pop in, I get a chance to join people and adventure with folks in the game. Even though I don't get in that often, it is there we go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Olivia. Thank you, Thorin, and the others that I already friended earlier. But anyway, yeah, thank you very much, and hopefully get a chance to adventure together.
Awesome. All right,
We've
so
had some clarification. They're asking where Atos is, not the castle.
Atos. We don't talk about Atos.
so you guys
It's
can
like a
hear,
forbidden turkey sound.
can you guys hear me?
He just doesn't appreciate Darkstar's
Wait,
birthday.
I don't
The
think
noise
they can hear
canceling.
me.
Yeah,
It's
you
fine, but
didn't know
noise
that
canceling-
Atos and Star had a falling out? They don't talk to each other anymore. They'll never show up at the same place anymore.
Oh my god!
I heard it's because one of them called the other one some really horrible names, and now they've come to fisticuffs if they're ever in the same physical space. Isn't that right?
Totally.
I thought if you never saw them both in the same physical space, it's because one of them was impersonating the other.
Right. I'm glad that we're fueling the rumor mill. That's always.
You guys can hear me now, right?
We can hear
Yep.
you. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
All right. So
Glenn?
yeah, basically I switched my microphones around, but I think that the stream was able to hear me, but not you guys. So
Oh, weird.
yeah.
Were you saying prizes?
No.
Is it time for prizes?
Sure, we could do some prizes.
Come on in. It's 5:36 or whatever time it is for you. It's 36 after the hour.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to state that don't forget that the phrase that pays is "Happy Birthday, Darkstarr,"
Mhm.
and you'll say it in any in-game chat to get enrolled in the prizing.
So you can't win by saying it here right now.
Yep.
Now,
I
Nor
have-
can you win by
it
saying
means
it in
nothing
Twitter.
to us. It means only something to you.
Right.
Phrasing.
Nor can you win by making the forbidden turkey sound.
No.
Although that should be worth a prize.
Yeah, if you could do it well enough to where we can all hear it.
Yeah, to figure out the noise canceling algorithm.
Hmm.
Or if you could spell your game name to where it sounds like a turkey call, then you will win a prize.
So right now I actually owe them a total of 5 prize innings, just from what we got. We got the 2 hype levels, and
Oh my
then
god,
the 3.
5 prize innings.
Yep, 5. So running the first one now, and we'll keep doing that. All right, let me get back to my script because I think I got off track.
Oh, we're all so off script now. It's not
Oh
even
yeah.
fun.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. Where I lost the channel.
Best stream ever.
Oh, there it is.
Rip, we are artists.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Blah blah blah. Oh, introductions. Okay, yeah. So I got a bunch of stuff I could talk about for the update, and then we'll just get on to more topical things and continue the banter here. Let me hit
Oh
another
yes,
prize.
Galor and Hammer Throw. I have caused the eclipse.
Of course.
He's darkening the star.
So actually, since Atos was brought up, yeah, he's actually traveling. He's on the road right now. He's not in Texas, and I believe that's the reason why he didn't make the stream. He was invited.
No,
but
I understand they hate each other now, and they're always saying bad things about each other whenever they're on streams.
They were the same person.
You know, it's-
glasses off.
it's funny. I actually have it in my notes. I was going to say to Star that I'd roast you, but other people are doing it for me, so I don't have to.
That's right. I got to make the hair comment. that offended more than just the Lord of Chaos.
Okay, on the
You want
third
the
prize
herpes?
thing. So, but one thing I did want to mention, and I'm going to do my best to post the link into the Twitch chat here. See if I can get this thing up. All right. So, turning on shill mode. Is your llama not cozy? Get a cozy llama mug. So basically, Maxine, it's Chris's daughter, has got a school project to start a business, and she has put up a web store. So you could go ahead and get some neat stuff like this mug here that has a cozy llama on it. You know, bad
Wait,
llama.
Where do we go for that?
And that's the society6.com/inside a kid's mind. I'm going to post the link.
Oh, I meant to put that in projects to support. Oh well.
Yeah.
Next
Well,
month.
you can always add it in.
No, it's been published already. Can't go making major changes after that.
Okay.
Well, we are celebrating chaos today, so you know.
Boom. This one? Yes, there it is. Okay, boom, and there. Yay! A link.
Palcat,
Okay.
I've just joined the game today. I'm so happy with what I found. What a great community. Welcome aboard, Palcat.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Glad to have you.
Or is it POW cat?
POW cat.
I think it's P0.
Get this out of here. How many prizings do we have in the thing so far? 3. Okay, I still have 2 more. So, as you guys can see, things are hectic all the time, and I am not that organized. So, anyway, there's a bunch of stuff to talk about, and welcome all the new players, of course. Thank you for trying the game out, and we hope you like it. And if you do, please spread the word. I'll talk about more about that in a little bit. I got 4th one. Oh, it's pending. Pending one? No. All right. And now I gotta go find that stupid channel again. Oh, it's up here. All right. Yeah. Duh. Okay. All right. So, got some standardized topics here. As I said, kind of like housekeeping that I usually go through. And first one is that the sales. We have sales right now going on where Kodos, Crowns of the Obsidians, the in-game currency, are on sale on the website for 20% off. The rolling 2-hour in-game Crown Store sales will be 30% off, and player-owned town upgrades paid with Kodos are 20% off through April 4th. Those sales started yesterday at approximately noon, or well, a little bit before noon technically, when the game came up, and the crowns on the website went on sale at noon. So they'll stay on sale through April 4th. So basically at the end of April 4th at midnight, start of April 5th, that's when the sales are supposed to stop. But of course, that all depends on whether or not I remember to hit the button and publish the patch. So the sale may last a little bit longer than that.
And those times are based on Central Time, I assume, right?
Yes. Yeah, all those, all of our times as we publish them are always based on Central Time, which is Texas, and that's where the server is, and that's why. So, also,
East Coast, West Coast.
also, double XP has been enabled, and that will stay on through the 4th. I know you guys don't really care about that, but you know it's on the thing, so I have to read it. I don't know.
I can.
What's not love about double XP?
Yeah, I don't know. We were talking in Discord the other day, and I swear somebody asked me for half XP. So you know maybe that's what we'll do next time around is to put on 0.5 XP. That should be interesting. But no. So double XP is enabled for the Lord of Chaos. And let's see here. We do have.
You're welcome.
in honor of the Lord of Chaos, I will make the announcement now that we're gonna have a flash sale type of thing. It's not really a flash sale because it's not really a flash,
The
but
chaos sale.
it's a chaos sale. And this is going to be a special thing, and some of you guys will remember this from the anniversary stream. We are going to offer, if you buy the 10,000 Kodo pack on the website, I hear cringing already. You will be able to get bundled with that, a Darkstarr metronome, and it's a reworked version that Scotty had just made, and which I think I'm going to be able to show that off here. At least this was the plan. If I could get stupid Unity to.
Has Star already seen that?
Star has not seen it. He has no idea.
Oh, that's right. If you've not haunted the forums, I made a post about it, and
Yeah.
I can show that.
I could show it. Hold on, I have it in scene.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I just need to find where my too many windows. Life is too complicated. Okay, let me see here, and then I switch to this one. Yay, there we go. Okay, so there. Okay, so here's the deal. First off, let me finish the details about the sale, because otherwise this is going to get a little confusing. If you buy a 10,000 Kodo pack on the website, that's the one for right now. It's on sale for $80. You will get with it the Darkstarr metronome that's on the right-hand side, the one that's black and silver here. And get this over here. There we go.
No, I'm not seeing. Are you presenting that? I'm not seeing it on the.
It's on stream.
On the Twitch stream.
Yeah, the
It's on the
actual
Twitch stream.
direct
Yeah.
direct to Twitch.
You need to put some clothes on there, buddy.
Oh well, I have clothes on. You know.
He's wearing a kilt.
Yeah. So, and of course, I guess I. Hold on. I have to finish this one thing, and then I'm going to talk more. But the sale for the total 10,000 Kodo pack. Do not worry. If you bought 10,000 the 10,000 Kodos yesterday, anytime yesterday, I'm starting this from midnight yesterday all the way through to the end of the 4th. So the entire length of our sale period for this month is this offer applies. So as opposed to the last time, I kind of like, literally last time it was an off the cuff, not thought through thing, and we just offered it on the stream. Then we expanded it to a 24-hour period. So now it's a 7-day period. So from the beginning of whatever yesterday was, the 28th, all the way through to the end of the 4th. So if you buy the 100 Kodo pack, then you will get, and this is for each 10,000 Kodo pack you get, you will get one of these Darkstarr metronomes. This. The new one, right? So this is it's not my test area, but this is an area that some of you guys might even recognize the name, Decoration Station, and this is my local copy of it, where I put things that I'm working on, things like the lava pool that I'm trying to fix, oh look at this, a broom that doesn't have a glow. Oh wow! Well, maybe that'll be showing up soon, and other things that I've been working on. But so it's like a Green Acres. If any of you who are familiar with UO, this is our little dev play area. And of course, the reason why I'm dressed all weird in here is because I've been working on making the flesh areas of the bone armor dyeable. Scotty and I actually worked on that together. We was having some problems with it, and it's still got some issues. The bunny skirt needed to be fixed as well. So anyway, that's why we are where we are.
Did you show off the look of the new metronome inside and out?
I'm doing that right now.
Awesome. Okay,
so the whole story is that this I need to hold on. I gotta get this lamp out off my friggin'. It's freaking me out that my arm is staying out in the middle of no place. Okay, so the there we go. Much better. This version of the metronome, the one that's was it cherry wood or something? I think it was kind of a gold and wood color. This one was actually released back in, I think it was 2014. Star, do you remember?
Pretty early.
I know you're older now, way old, and you're very old.
Oh
so-
yeah, I totally remember exactly when that was released.
That was released back in the days when we were convincing ourselves that steampunk was really just goth who had discovered the color brown, and so the entire thing became that color.
Yep. And, yeah, and, it's funny too because I found the article when I can't say his name, whoever it was, the guy, the dev who was building it, he actually had the wood tones. The casket was a different color originally. Apparently, and they even wrote that the final approved version was this one. So it looked like the committee, as it were, shot down his two-tone idea. So
It was summer of 2013, so it was before we even released one.
yeah, there you go. So
it was one of the earliest pieces.
This item was actually part of a pledge. And I don't remember what pledge level it was, but it was part of a pledge, and then later was also offered one time only during a telethon as a reward. And after that, this isn't even in the vault. It's not in the Crown Store. It's not available, period. So the only ones that are in game are the ones that were released back then. That's it. In addition, what it does, you open it up, and then it has some animation on it, and it does that type of thing. Now, we decided that we would make a new version of it in honor of Star's birthday. So the plaque has changed, and I'm not reading it off. You're going to have to go learn Runic if you want to know what it says.
I know.
But we have, well, if you want to read it off, Richard, that's up to you.
It's actually too small. I'm not going to read it off.
So we as you can see, we enhanced it a little bit. And Star, are you watching the stream? Are you able to see this? Cool. All right. Yeah. So we added in some comfort inside of the coffin. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, Scotty. I think you should actually do all the talking here. So
well, I will say that I wanted to revisit it mainly because I mean, the first one was cool and all, but if we're going to revisit it in honor of Starlong, Lord of Chaos, and especially going back to the basics of the Gothic style that I know he loves, I mean, all the way up into the realm of listening to Bela Lugosi's Dead and Bauhaus, playing in clubs, nightclubs.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to capture something that had that elegance and that style. And so back to basics, back to the goth basics at that point in time. And so, we get the nice lacquered black wood, and we get the simplistic but elegant, kind of silver lines and stuff and etchings that are on the thing. Not too, hyper flowery or anything like that. Just something nice and goth and grim and basic. But then, of course, the added luxury of the inner red velvet lining, the coffin lining. Kind of callback to what you should expect to find if you opened up Bela Lugosi's coffin. So I really wanted something fun, elegant, and classy, and I wanted to do it without really messing with the original design or animation. I mean, because honestly, the original design, the way it was built, the animation, all that stuff, I thought was great. But I just wanted to up it a notch with some new texture families and a new look that might, and of course, a new message. Inspired by the Star's birthday and Darkstar's birthday, with of course not just showing that as a tribute, but also the in-game year that it was created. So
yes.
there you
So
have
I
it.
couldn't possibly say Darkstarr tribute there on the top. I'm just saying.
I know it couldn't possibly say that at all. It absolutely does. And again, happy birthday, Darkstarr.
Thank you, and nice reference to Bela Lugosi's dead, because definitely danced and sang that quite a few times.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, that's an awesome song. I love that. Okay, well, let's. We have prizings we have to read off, and then we have more prizings to do. So, folks, we're going to read off the prizes now for the first round, but we owe you guys at least 3 more for the when we get to the top of the hour, which is actually in about 6 minutes.
Get to it.
Unless, of course, the Lord of Chaos deems it necessary that we throw out more of them. So here we go. First thing is, who has access to Mattermost and can help read off the prizes?
Not
I can help. So what do you want me to read?
Okay, so do you want the hard part or the easy part?
I don't mind reading the names of the folks.
Oh,
and I
okay.
Don't mind, so what would you? So would you like to name out the prize, and then I'll name out the 5 people that are from these lists?
Sure. Yep. And you know how to do that. So we're going to do the prize, and then you'll read off all 5 of the players.
I already see someone I think is a huge cheater.
Uh-oh.
Is that the first name?
No, the last set.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll have to leave it to him to appoint who gets that
Oh,
The third set as well.
thing. Oh,
Wow.
God. All right, so here we go.
Now,
All right.
we're still looking at the Darkstarr metronome.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
they
amazing,
could.
isn't it?
Yeah, we can memorize them for a while.
that's
But
the
yeah, I'll
one,
switch
right?
back over.
Okay, that's the old Darkstarr metronome on these lists, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
They didn't know that yet. Shh.
that.
All right, let me get that off. And all right, so go back to our camera at the moment. Okay, so the first prize is a 2024 Total Eclipse Cloak, which I probably should be wearing in here to show that off too, but life sucks.
Shall I read the winners?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The winners are Lazarus Long, Nemesis Darkwood, Aurelius Silverson, Vira Ondarian, and Kyron Steorwolf.
Okay, the next one is a 2-handed Darkstarr sword. These are actually pretty cool things. Go ahead.
Oh, awesome. The winners of that are Adris Elilan, Arthur de Thartas, Nefer Lehermite, Famins, and Jock Sparrow.
Jock Sparrow. Jock.
Not Jack Sparrow. Jock Sparrow.
Jock Sparrow. Yeah.
So not to infringe on Disney.
No.
Never heard of Disney. What's that? There we go. Quick. All right, so there's the well, actually, you guys can't see it. No.
By the way, Diablo Teen 1 in the chat asks, how do we get the new metronome?
All right, so yeah, the new metronome is being offered through the purchase of the 10,000 Kodo pack on the website. So again,
Well, don't get too distracted because we're still doing the things. I just
Yeah,
didn't want
yeah.
your question to get lost.
Right. Yeah, and I'll review that again in a little bit. But that's the only way to get that metronome. That will not be offered on the store, just like the original metronome. That's going to be an ultra rare in the end.
Is that available now, by the way?
Well, they could buy the pack, but we're going to be delivering the metronomes after the 4th.
So we're open until the 4th with whoever buys that pack will also get the metronome, and then after the 4th we'll go ahead and give that all out.
Right. The Eclipse Cloak is actually in the Crown store, and that's available for purchase now.
Awesome.
So 700 crowns in the store.
When you click on it, does it say turn around, bright eyes?
Total eclipse of the star.
No, sadly it does not.
Missed opportunity, man. Missed opportunity.
Yeah, you're right. And also the Eclipse Cloak, again, I threw it into the prizing. So yeah, the Eclipse Cloak is available in the Crown Store. So all right, two-handed Darkstarr sword. You did those? You read those
Yes,
off,
I
right?
did.
Okay. The third one is a Darkstarr heavy chaos shield. I believe this is the round shield.
Ah, cool. Well, the winners of that are Amanita Phalloides, and we have Sammy, and we have Defected Zephyr.
Yeah.
By Pepsi.
Oh, actually, that name's been changed, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, it must just be caching them.
Yep.
And finally, we have as a winner Lord British.
What?
Yeah, how did that happen?
Because he's wishing me happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how I don't.
Happy
get it.
birthday, Darkstarr.
I also
Thank
post the
you.
reminders.
I guess
with the
everyone gets to win.
See, it works. See, it's
Everyone there.
random.
That's right.
Now we know. That was
Random
confirmed.
number generator.
So
Everyone can be a winner.
Yeah.
You are a big wiener. Richard.
But you're a big wiener.
So I would assume that Lord British will be donating that shield to some random player.
Oh, well, if you deliver it to me now, maybe. But
Yeah. In fact, you know what? Here's the thing. I will deliver to you the shield. It'll take me a minute to do it, of course. But you could go
I'm
ahead
going
and
to deliver it. I'm going to give it to the next person who adds me as a friend.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Okay.
Everybody in their earshot has already done it, but we'll find out.
See, and this is the true meaning of chaos.
And I would suggest that you could rename that shield to something appropriate.
Yeah.
It's all about the heavy chaos.
And we may just have to have another drawing.
And by the way, Naxriel DeVille is the person who just offered me the friend request.
Oh,
And,
there you go.
sorry, Michael Landon, you came in a little after Naxriel DeVille.
All right. So once we get through the drawings here, I'll and somebody else is talking, then I'll go ahead and get the shield over to you so you could take care of that.
And Naxriel DeVille, I'll accept your friend request shortly. Let me just I want to leave it up on my screen in green so I can not forget to get it to you here shortly.
Awesome. Okay. So did you make it all the way down? That was the last one.
It is.
Okay. All right. And that was the shield. So the next one is a Darkstarr silver moon dial.
I like that one.
It's a
And the
very nice
winners
looking moon dial.
are Scan4, Fennec, Lord British once again. Look at that. Oh, and then we have
And
Lazarus
Michael
Long.
Landon, you're going to get that one.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice. So, and then we have Lazarus Long, who has also won the moon dial. And then last but not least, we have Gina the Loyal.
Congratulations.
Awesome,
everyone so far.
awesome.
We still have another
Very
one, but
cool.
congratulations, everyone.
Yes.
And then so
Excellent, lads.
I am currently wielding the Darkstarr two-handed sword. Okay, and the next one is the original Darkstarr metronome. That's going to be the wooden
I
one.
see.
Yep, there you go.
And that's amazing because, as you said, this is the first time that new people will get their hands on one since when?
2014.
2014.
Yeah.
Before episode 1, before launch 1.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's crazy. So, yeah, amazing. 10 years it's been. Now, finally, the winners for that are Scarface, Burko, Striker Sparhawk, Orlonian, and last but certainly not least, Aristodemus.
There you go.
It's like time traveling.
It is.
Excellent. All right.
I was
So
expecting you to say, and the winners are Lord British, Lord British, Lord British, Lord British, and Lord British.
Incredible luck.
and lucky for a few new
I
players.
said happy birthday, Darkstarr, quite a few times. Do you get like one entry per time you say it?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think once you say it, you're in. But you never
I think
know.
once it does a new drawing, it pulls a new list.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
So
You can't help it if you love me so much, Richard. I mean,
I do. I love you, man.
so I mean,
all I could say is that Richard, I don't know, you might want to put your put the phrase in again. Then, because we're going to be doing another drawing here within the next few minutes. These we're supposed to do these at the top of the hour.
I'm jealous. My name
Okay.
doesn't show up, and I put out these reminders. Here's the phrase that pays. Everyone say it.
The phrase that pays.
Happy birthday, Darkstarr.
Phrase that pays.
happy birthday to me.
Okay, so let me inject one thing here now. It was noted while we were talking about this stuff that we have a bunch of new players, we have a burst of new players coming into the game. And we are actually tracking that stuff, and the rate of new characters made per day, which we have quite a few characters made per day on a normal basis, but it's shot up after was it Lazy Peon? Actually did a video and talked about Shroud of the Avatar and suggested that if people liked DDO and what was the other one? DDO and something else, maybe it was World of Warcraft, that if they liked those games that they would like Shroud of the Avatar. So pretty much immediately we started getting a inrush of new players coming into the game. So
Awesome.
Great.
yeah, welcome new players. Again, and this is where I'm just going to take a minute to say is that obviously our game, we're not currently marketing the game. We want to get to that point. We are working on. We have a very small team, and we're working on getting our ducks in a row so that we could get to the point where we could start marketing again. So right now the game is pretty much populated by word of mouth, so it is lower that way.
Great
But you guys coming in, if you like the game, please spread the word. And to our current people, players in the streaming program, if you guys could put together some videos like that, in kind of a how-to type of review format, as opposed to normal streaming that you guys do, then that would be much appreciated. And if you do that and let us know about it, we may put those videos up on our YouTube channel, so that way we could use that as kind of a promo type of thing. We have the last time we did promos was back in 2017. Maybe even 2018, I think, with when Travian was still around. In fact, I was the director of one of the videos. But we do need more of those, and I don't think that there's anybody better to do that than our own players. The Lazy Peon video was great. I watched the whole thing, and there were a few items in there that weren't quite accurate, because he went in there and he just said, "Oh, here's a game," and it was his first session in it, type of thing, and he was discovering things as he went along. But there were some of the things like as far as the housing, because if you go into Soulsbridge Outskirts and complete the quest there, you get a free housing deed there. If you complete the main storyline, you get a village lot. You get the row lot from the outskirts, completing the outskirts. Then you get a village lot for completing the main storyline. So in his video, he had said that you have to pay for housing and things along those lines. So there's definitely some.
I think he had a mix of like he was familiar with the game in the very early days. Maybe
Yeah.
I forget, But so he was trying to recall some stuff, and he remembered that people paid for houses with real money as part of pledges and such. But he was sort of mixing up what the real current situation was versus his like old impression of it.
Right, and that's the thing is that the big part to note here is that the game has evolved. And obviously not disparaging the original creators and developers of the game, but we've gone through basically 2 phases, and we're entering into a 3rd phase of development. So Portalarium was the original company, run by Darkstarr and Lord British. And a host of wonderful devs, and including Scotty and Sanyo, who worked on creating the game. And I've been in the, a bunch of us, a lot of the players were down in the office when that was going on, and it was hectic. I mean, it was, bang, 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 getting things done, throwing out a huge game where you could go into the world and be or do anything you want. This game covers so many different aspects. The crafting and venturing, PvP, PvE. So there's a lot of complexity in the game, and of course it's a Lord British game, so which means that you have the ability to go out there and figure it all out, and talk to all the NPCs and get quests, and not everything's handed to you. So it's there's a lot of aspects of that. Then from there, it went on to Catnip Games, and which is the 2nd phase, where Atos, Chris, took over and continued the development of the game. And now I'm basically taking over that role of driving the game forward, and we're moving into a 3rd phase of things where we're reorganizing, and hopefully folks have noticed that we've been cleaning up bugs, we're balancing the game, we're adding more content, and of course we are still working on completing episode 2 and moving on to episode 3, and so forth, so on. So lots to talk about there. But the point is, the game has evolved, and it still continues to evolve. So there's lots to see in this game, plenty of hours. I know that in the past we always talked about games, and when I say we, mean players, about like, oh, there's 20 hours of playtime in this game, or 40 or 80 or whatever. This game, I don't even know. What would you guys say, about 1,000 hours or more? I mean, there's so much to go see and explore in this game. It's just unbelievable. It's just a matter of searching through and finding it all.
Yeah, it is a true sandbox game. So really, the amount of hours you spend in is going to be up to you. We do have the main storyline. I'm not really sure what we consider the normal playthrough of that. Maybe it's like a 20 to 30 hour kind of a thing. If you also do like all the side quests and try to be completionist. But we have the main continent, Novia, which is pretty big and a lot of side stuff, and we also have the Hidden Vale and its own quests and stuff, which was sort of something to hold players over while we were getting Novia ready. And then we have like the episode 2 area, Mistrender, and that is 3 main islands and all the activities you can do on those islands. Like I went on.
Yeah, and that's just the playthrough. I mean, in other words, like that doesn't even count the fact that so many folks use that as a launching point opportunity for them to just go in and kind of enjoy the sandbox atmosphere of it, and play with their own housing, and meet up with and do stuff with folks that aren't necessarily the storyline or sub storyline adventures. And so, yeah, I mean, I know a lot of folks that have spent thousands of hours in the game and haven't even necessarily taken the chance to go through all the dungeons yet and experience all the content that's inside of there, that is pretty amazing from a standpoint of just gameplay itself. So yeah.
One of the things that the Lazy Peon video that he did in there, which you don't really see called out a lot, it's not really a main bullet point, but he was surprised that he could basically go into every building and look around and find things, and usually find some character to talk to, and so many characters would give him quests or direct him somewhere, part of some quest or activity. he was surprised that the world was as alive as it was, and that was a big point for us. Big point for Richard. Richard, wanted that
Yeah.
world to be alive. If there was a door, you should open it. If there's something
Yeah.
you look like you should pick it up, you should pick it up. That kind of thing.
Yeah. He argued
You hear a
specifically.
lot of feedback about that, and it was nice to see that section of the video where he talked about it and he was impressed by it.
Yeah.
you
And a big part of what I do, I guess, is also make sure that the world feels like it's alive and the NPCs are doing something that's important to them in their own NPC minds. So it's
that kind of
pat myself on the
accessibility.
back for that part too.
In fact, I remember Richard. I remember him getting that kind of blowback. The blowback against, well, why can't we have just facade buildings and facade houses? And Richard was like, no, because it's not real. The people expect to be able to go inside these things, and check out what's inside and maybe even meet the people that are in there. And of course, I mean, it's a little bit creepy. You can't imagine that like every door is going to be unlocked, but at the same point in time, unlocked or not, the idea is there's something behind there, something real. And if you can ever find the key, then you can get in there one way or the other, and it better match.
Yeah, and well, in fact, let me just describe that one level deeper, which is, by the way, I always find it fascinating to compare notes with other developers as to how they do, the standards they use for all kinds of imagery and data. And the first time I kind of realized this was when I was comparing notes with the folks who were doing the game Wizardry. When I did a Calabeth and the first Ultimas, the way I made a dungeon is I started with basically a block of solid, of stone, a 10 by 10 area there, might have been actually 16 by 16 area of, rock. And then I would go change some of those rocks into empty spaces. And what that meant was as you would dig a tunnel, the wall thickness by definition was 10 feet thick, because that was the only resolution you had when you were, it was either open or not open. And, everything was in measures of 10 feet. And the way Wizardry did theirs is basically they started with the whole things being open, and you presumptively could stand in any one of the 10 by 10 places, but in any one of those 10 by 10 areas, they could either add a wall that you could see from the left, and they better match it with a wall that from the other one you see from the right. And so as long as they remember to put up both walls, the wall was literally paper thin. And if you only remember to put it up on one side, it made sort of a one-way wall and a secret opening, so to speak, from the other direction. And so it was just interesting that, the two standards we evolved was, are your walls paper thin or are your walls the same thickness as the hallway is wide? And but from there I noticed other things too. Like there's people when they go, you want to make a city, like if you're trying to do in fact, I don't know that this was the case when the guys did City of Heroes with us, but when you're doing something that might, for example, represent Earth, and therefore you need New York, you need quite a few buildings to make New York look vaguely like New York. You at least have the iconic buildings plus enough others to make it look like a jumble. But the problem with that, in my mind, is that you either therefore have to go, if you're going to build New York, that means you have to literally detail all those buildings in New York, or you have to walk past all these facades that you can't go in, so it takes you extra travel time. And even if you did populate all those buildings, it's very unlikely you have enough actual interesting content to populate every building and every floor of every building and every office within every floor of every building to make it worth bothering. And so the fine line I always try to do is to say, what is the minimum number of buildings that it takes to make this village or town or whatever still feel like a village or town or whatever? But then as soon as we've decided that's how many it needs, we're going to make sure every one of those is as real as possible, has all the detail and content that needs inside of it to make it feel like a relevant and interesting piece of the experience. And so that's why, our big metropolises, have, 20 or 30 buildings.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, Michael Landon, who is the winner of the Silver Darkstarr Moondial, is offline at the moment. So I'm going to have to mail it to him or something here.
Yeah. There's a mailbox around the corner. I'll show you where it is later if you want.
Right.
Hey, while I'm standing over here by the shrine, and the max the buff, the Castle Atos blessing of let me start over. Blessing of Atos. The Blessing of Atos buff is currently at maximum strength. So anybody who doesn't know about this, basically you want to take this and it lasts for a couple of days, yeah, about 48 hours, I think, and goes with you. You log out, log back in, whatever. It's real world time. This buff gives you 30 health, 30 focus, so on and so forth. These numbers may vary based on what your levels are.
Is it outside the gates of the castle? Where are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm over on the from the stage. I'm over on the right-hand side. There's a shrine on the right, and then there's a shrine on the left. The shrine on the right does the this bonus, and the shrine that's over on the left side, if you're facing away from the stage, does a training bonus that only survives during your time in Castle Atos.
Hmm.
Sorry, Allium, I think you were trying to correct me someplace in there.
The bonus for the shrine that you are at doesn't scale with adventure level, but it does scale with the number of people who are in the scene at the time.
Hey.
And the health and the focus are 3-day buffs, but the crit reduction bonus is 1 day.
Oh, there you go. See, I don't know how to play the game. I just run it. So I say it all the time. Here, Lord British, where are you? Follow me. If you can see where I am.
I didn't see where you went. I just went to the shrine. So
No, sorry. I'm right by you now. Right?
okay.
All right, follow me and I'll show you where the mailbox is.
Excellent.
And get that done.
And I will mail Michael Landon his.
So Star, I have a question for Star. Since on Shroud the Avatar, a big part of your job was like wrangling the ideas and the devs to make sure like the trains ran on time and all that. And so when Richard comes up with ideas, let's make every building a building you can go into and interact with and have people living in there and doing their own thing. How does that? What do you think when you hear Richard saying like, let's get very elaborate with all this stuff?
Well, everything is possible, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that the answer is, given time, resources, and money, you can do anything you want to do. And it really just comes at you just have to balance the requirement with the results and what resources you have available. So, we would just talk about like, yeah, well, if that's an absolute requirement for a Lord British production, then, that's what we're going to do. There's going to be a cost to it. And, it'll determine like there's going to be a maximum size of how big a map can be, right? There's going to be a limit to what kind of resolution each asset can be drawn at. So you have to just come up with solutions that'll meet the requirement. So, that it's a lot of like come up with solutions to meet the requirement, and some discussion of like, well, if we do that, we won't be able to do this other thing. So
yeah, and if I can even comment on that too, it's interesting that Star on the game did what my brother Robert would do from the kind of what I call the finances of the whole company. Which is, we would always go like, oh, we want 3 more years to make the game. And Robert would go like, okay, we got time. We got money for 1.5 years of everybody's salaries. Better figure it out. And so, that's says you can do whatever you want as long as, you're aware of the fact the bank account runs out in 1.5 years. And that's a pretty good motivator. And so Star does the same thing with the game. He just articulated. He said, yes, you can, anything is possible, but you got to know what all the trade-offs are. And hopefully the way that works, and by the way, these trade-offs are so complex that it took, even though Star and I were similarly what I'll call close to the total team and the total project and the total design, he's watching like a hawk every one of the assets, every one of the schedules of each person down the queue, and so he knows how those trade-offs work. Hopefully, the value that I brought to the table, having made those trade-offs in a lot of smaller games before when you were doing it on your own. If you look at Akalabeth and Ultimas 1 through 5, largely I did those by myself. And so I was making the trade-off of, and I was doing the coding or the art or whatever it was. So if it was more sound versus more art, I was personally making that trade-off and kind of saw the damage that was done on one, the benefit and damage that was done when you move it one way or the other. And so hopefully I at least had some instincts going into that debate to understand, gee, if I want to stand my ground on the every building has to be real, here's the collateral damage. And then it's up to Starr to measure the collateral damage on all sides. And then we negotiate. Then we sit down and go like, okay, well, I think it's really important. So here's what we're going to throw out instead, because you only have finite resources. So here we go.
Yeah, and let me say that, as I said, before I was saying, we got the Portalarium phase and then the catnip phase, and then moving forward, a third new phase that we're in now, as it were. The idea is, and of course, we all love the Lord British. I'll Jira that, right? We're not doing that anymore. Sorry, Richard. But there are still a ton. I mean, when he said he was Jiraing something, he did, and there are literally still thousands of Jiras in the system of an idea of do this thing, make this happen, do it, and it's
the frogs that we got last year were originally from his Jira.
Yep.
It's had all
every
those
once in a
years, but
while,
we did it.
I would go back and I'd look through stuff like, all right, let me see if there's something that just like everyone assumes will never be touched, and it's just sort of like in our equivalent of like a dead letter office.
Right.
Like,
yeah, so
to do that frog stuff. Let me look to see what Richard has. Oh, he wants these little frogs instead of like the rabbits. All right, so we're gonna make the variations that is the little tiny frogs. We'll close out that Jira after 8 years or whatever it is.
We've also added giant frogs that will kill you.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, Richard, Lord British and Darkstarr, Richard and Starr, are still advisors to the game. They're still engaged. I reach out to them both and talk to them. Richard, of course, we have another book that we're talking about doing. There are.
Reminds me I keep getting calls from our publisher on that, so we need to.
Yeah. So when you're free,
pressure campaign is mounting.
Gotcha. Yeah. Then when you're free, we need to sit down and have some conversations.
Yeah.
But and then of course, Starr and I, we just talked about some other stuff with the CNBE awards. I need to go down there actually and meet up with him to get a physical signature on the new copy of his. You say it. Yep. So
have people seen that yet?
not this one, no. I'm trying to make the camera bigger.
Oh, you have to turn us off, right?
Well, this should be big enough on the screen there. Yeah. So it's similar to the ONBE one, but this one, of course, is more chaotic and
aegis, I say.
Yeah.
So
but I put some runic on there, so there's a little
all
right.
More British sprinkling on there.
Let me get back.
I got another question for you, Starr.
Oh, the Mare people, unleash the Mare people. That's right. We still haven't had our Mare people versus horse people war.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let me wrap up.
Prizes. People have been frantically wishing me happy birthday.
We have a backlog of stuff here, but so just to close out this, so with all due respect to the Starr and Lord British, many of those ideas that have been floating around, and this is definitely something I need to address anyway to the community, because we constantly get a question. In fact, that was being asked in the chat a little bit while ago here. Well, whatever happened to this idea? Whatever happened to that idea? So the ideas that were posed to Portalarium back in the day, if they haven't made it into the game up to this moment, the chances are not high that they're going to be able to get in because we don't have the staff that we had back then or they had back then. But
Plus, some of the tech may have changed so much that some of the stuff isn't relevant.
exactly. Yeah, there's a bunch of things that, again, the game has evolved. But you know, we still have a plan and a way forward. We're not, you know, we're not stopping anything. But at the same time, we're not going, you know, off willy-nilly, adding on thousands of ideas that we know will not happen because we don't have the resources to make them occur. So now that ties in, and so I'm going to just put this in here, is that it ties into the fact that, you know, we need you guys to support the game. It's a free-to-play game. Obviously, the transactions are required for us to get paid and be able to bring in more resources, more programmers, more artists, more, you know, scene builders, and this is something that we want to keep doing. So offering things like the 2024 version of the Darkstarr metronome and other items that we'll do in a special offers and things along those lines help support the game. You know, we try to avoid, well, more than try, we do not do pay to win. We do not, you know, put up paywalls. We're trying to avoid all that stuff, especially, and clarify or quantify that episode 1 is free, absolutely free to play. Episode 2, of course, you have to purchase. It's an expansion to the game, but you know, that's only $19 at this stage for early access, and those who pledged early in the days, all those pledge promises as far as the access to the future episodes are being honored. So, but if you want to see the game continue, grow, and be expanded, then of course we need to get money from someplace. So obviously that's what we're trying to do, is make it a nice, easy thing to something enjoyable and nice to look at to help us keep going on. Then, of course, there's subscriptions as well, and we're expanding the subscriptions to a second tier that will allow you to do $18, get 2,000 kodos, and all the stuff that you get from the first tier as well. So I'll talk about that more of that stuff later. Right now, I think we're getting ready to do the prizing, and I know I cut off Sanyo as well.
Oh, that's okay. I was just going to ask Star, trying to keep the Star theme going. Ask Star. So I'm a designer, so some of my questions might be from the designer's perspective. And although I know you sort of help organize everyone, you know, that's like your main gig, organizing people, keeping everything running smoothly and with the proper balance of ideas and effort and such. But you obviously always contribute to those ideas and designs to some level. Like you at least give feedback, and sometimes you actually sort of give even more than that. Is there anything in Shroud of the Avatar that was kind of like mostly a Star idea that got in, or is there an idea that you're most proud of your contribution, or that you're most proud of that it actually got in the game, and maybe it was sort of like iffy for a while, or just in general, what's your favorite design in Shroud of the Avatar?
I will answer that, but first I want to do some prizes. So
Okay.
I'm going to do these prizes, and then I'm going to answer that question. So, and I have some answers. Allium sent me a list of, so I can read this list you sent me, right, Allium?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, so starting with the 2024 Total Eclipse Cloak, which sadly does not say "Turn Around, Bright Eyes," but I can personally provide that service for you. Captain Knives, Scarface, and Royu are the winners of the Total Eclipse Cloak. Turn around, bright eyes. All right, and two-handed Darkstarr sword. Oh wait, that's a two-handed Darkstarr sword.
There you go.
Aphrodite Olymp, Zans, and Raven the Dead. You've won that fabulous two-handed sword named after Fabulous myself. And another namesake from mine, the Darkstarr Heavy Chaos Shield, Dear von Satan.
Just deviled eggs.
Nice. Flunky and Burko. The Darkstarr Silver Moon Dial, Hern Dungeon, Bean Hunter, someone who likes coffee, and Vulcan Jedi.
Nice.
And the winner of Darkstarr Metronome is Ethak Dethardus, which I'm pretty sure is Kathy something backwards, and Uthgar Krakenwolf, and DJ Brazen Spirituality. So congratulations, all of the big wieners.
Yay!
Yeah, I don't know. I kept wishing you happy birthday. I didn't even get in on that one, man.
Yeah.
Rats. This must be actually a fair wheel.
Yes, it is. Turns out random numbers are random. So congratulations, all the winners. Okay, so my favorite contributions. Well, I actually loved doing the live streams and being silly on the live streams and having like the prize wheel and just being ridiculous on live streams. I think that was my favorite, interacting with the community and doing all of that just really silliness, which was very chaotic. And then
But Star, I want to toot your horn here a little bit, if I may, on your birthday, and also just for good measure. You know, starting back when the first big project we did together, obviously, was Ultima Online. But with all the ones we've worked on together, starting then but through now, it's clear that the things that I have influenced the most heavily. We just talked about one, like the principle of what a town should look like, and also obviously making sure that we beat the drum super heavily on virtues, and that we make sure that they're contrasted. You contrast them against each other in a way that it felt right, and storyline and that sort of stuff. But throughout all of the games we developed together, almost everything is associated with the community that we see out here before us right now in this castle. All the community features and the balance of skill gaining, weapon gaining, limited edition digital items, how trading goes, the meat of what makes a multiplayer game successful and balanced and long-lived. You absolutely are the person who drove those way, way, way more than myself. And so I get some trademarky intellectual property, background, but the meat of the game, you are always the person who I think that drove that to a substantially higher amount and standard than I would have ever been able to do independently.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I truly believe that technology can, when wielded for good, can bring us closer together and not drive us apart. And so, and that's always been my passion for these projects, is that we can use them to build up community, not tear it down. And so, and giving.
That's why everyone should stand by the virtues.
and giving people tools that they can build and maintain community is what I was most excited from the very beginning of these things. Is that what the potential they had for that.
Well, and that advocacy, by the way, I mean, is very evident and apparent even still to this day, with the number of folks out there hosting their own parties and having their own DJ events going on in their towns and all the other stuff that they're still very excited about from a standpoint of doing player town stuff and their own private events. I mean, the fact that those thousands of hours get spent not necessarily delving into dungeons and getting killing monsters and getting treasure, but are really invoked by those private events and public events that players hold just for themselves and for their own benefit, just to have fun and to get together and socialize. That right there tells you a lot, and your advocacy of that is very evident. So it's always awesome to see that. Not just
I would add to that.
Continue.
I would add to that the parties that the Darkstarr was due to all the DJ stuff, and I think a lot of like emotes and effects sort of came into the game because of the Darkstarr parties, to sort of enhance those. So I think they wouldn't have come into the game if we didn't really have those parties going.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yep.
By the way, speaking of that, Stephen, if you can, or even Allium, if you can send me through the private Discord chat, like I guess where the in the live stream thing, if there's a way I can automatically go to Castle Atos from where I am, because I'm on the actual overworld right now, and I want to kind of just jump there if I can using my special.
Yeah, if one of you guys can give him a debug teleport string.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that because I really want to get over there and see all the folks that are there.
Okay.
Or just summon them, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. I'm wandering over here near like the Brittany Fields area and such, and I just don't know where Castle Atos is. I haven't been there.
I don't see your Nimrod character. What are you playing as?
I am I'm playing as Nimrond Ionescu, Nimrond.
Are
we
friends?
not friends?
Yeah.
We may not be friends.
We're not even friends. Outrageous.
I know. It's crazy.
I think we're all trying to add him now.
Yeah. I mean, I have him on my list. If you guys haven't found him yet.
Yeah, I don't have him.
Well, I mean, that tells you a lot. I mean, I've been so busy doing art stuff forever.
Scotty, if you would bring up your friends list, you should have a request from me.
Oh, excellent. Well, at least someone's summoning me because I jumped out of the interface and I'm on my way, apparently. And thank you to whoever did that.
And then Scott, type /friend Lord British so I can friend you too.
Oh, okay, great.
There you go. Oh crap. Where were we? We have more prizings. There was something else I was gonna say. I don't know.
We're also praising Darkstarr. So I also want to add that I do appreciate that you weren't just like the guy to sort of keep us in line. I thought you were also like everyone saw you as the voice of common sense and reason. So sometimes you were the tiebreaker, or sometimes the guy that just and it wasn't just sort of like, well, Star knows the money and the time that we have to work with it. They went to you because you are who you are, and they said, okay, let's just sort of
get his. Somebody else in the hierarchy was not as reasonable. I want to make sure I understand how badly I'm being dissed here.
When someone
it's my birthday,
to feed you creep and watch expand the game to like 3,000 times the normal scope, they go, well, let's ask Star. Oh, what do you think?
It was mom and dad,
Yeah.
So just /friend and then space Lord British, or do I need to go in?
Lord
space British /friend.
Yep.
Space Lord space British. There you go.
Here we go.
Oh no, everyone's gonna become Lord British's friend.
I know. I want everybody to be Lord British's friend. I accept every friend request.
And I should do the same.
When I get to blow through the game, I like to just pop in, and then whoever says, "Hey, Lord British is here," I jump in and join their party, and we go run an adventure together.
We are in Castle Atos again to remind players. That is, Scotty couldn't find it, but I bet you guys could. It's on the road a little bit north of Sultan. It's going to be on the west side of that road, a little bit on a little bit of a mountain, if I recall. Like just off the road, there's like a little rise, and it's up on that rise to sort of help you see. You can see from a distance.
And you can ask for a dev summon too. You probably should whisper someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hey, by the way, that's actually something Cabazon was whispering to me on the side about my automatons. Some of you know, at least all of you on the call here probably know, I am a collector of automatons. I have something literally like 1,000 automatons. And they were saying, hey, maybe some of those automatons end up in a museum someday. And so, you can see them. Well, it turns out there's a museum across the river in New Jersey. It's called the Morristown Museum, the Morris Museum, and they do like mechanical music devices and automatons. And so they're having Automata Con later this month. And not only will a number of my pieces be on display there, but I'll actually be giving talks there about automata. So if you're in this part of the world, come to Automatacon at the Morris Museum.
Oh, that's
Handsome
awesome.
Jack, nice to be your friend.
So just to point out to players, we have automatons in the game that are like humanoid AI creatures. We're just talking about like the real world ones, which are mechanical contraptions that have like automations built into them.
We have those too. The
He's famous around the
Edelman
1800s.
Automon.
Yeah. But he's talking about like real stuff that you can actually see and that somebody actually created in the real world, maybe like in
Yeah.
1990 or
Yeah,
whatever.
my basement is filled with automatons.
In fact, you had an overflow. I actually got my hands on a couple of them during the whole period of your move to New York.
Yeah.
You're clearing out some amazing ones that I was able to get my hands on, and they're super cool.
Want to throw out a reminder to wish Darkstarr a happy birthday, and in game in any chat, Universal or Whispers or Zone Chat, local, whatever. Happy birthday, Darkstarr. And
I
we'll
like
be,
that I got upgraded to doctor there.
yeah, Dr. Darkstarr.
Doctor.
Okay.
Very
1
much like
billion.
Dr. Demento.
So we'll be doing another prize game drawing at the top of the hour. So
Not dead, just very badly burnt.
let's see here. I'm going to
Oh,
inject.
Darkstarr. That's it. I'm Darkstarr.
I'm going
Very good,
to.
Benelli.
Darkstarr.
Well played.
Very good, Sticker.
I'm going to inject some of our housekeeping stuff again because I haven't gotten through my script. So I'm going to
Chaos.
hijack the hijack. Let's see here. New items in the Crown Store. So we got a lot of stuff that we put in this month in the Crown Store. I'm not going to go over every item because obviously I don't want to cramp the flow here. But we have one of the things that we've introduced that we didn't have before is equipable egg baskets. Traditionally, almost every
yes.
year, we've had egg baskets, that are typical that you see in the springtime. I'm trying to avoid saying that the word. Generally what they'll do is they'll if you click on them during is it the month of April, Allium? To get the
Yes.
yeah, so they'll give you confetti eggs during April if you click on the basket as deco. And you place it out wherever. And in this case, there's been a long-standing request actually to make these things equipable so you could run around with them in your hand. So we were able to make one. We tried to make it all in one, where it would be equipable, and then you could place it as deco and have it do the replenishing eggs and everything. But that didn't quite work out. So in the Crown Store, we are selling them as a set. So you get an equipable basket as well as the usual deco basket that will deliver eggs when you click on it during April. Both of the baskets can be used as deco, just to be clear about that.
And can you put all your eggs in it?
No, you
Already
can't
full
put all
eggs.
your eggs in it.
It's already full.
Yeah. No more room for eggs. So that's out there. And then, as Allium had said, and she and Lainey both have expanded their skill sets and continue to expand their skill sets into the deeper regions of the pits of hell. Working on the game and doing development work. Allium has created, I guess is that a mallard duck, right? And a white duck, right? So we have 2 ducks that came into the game for spawners, and not only did she, and by the way, I just want to say, she's figuring this stuff out. I mean, it's not like anybody's holding her hand and walking her through this. She is figuring it out, guys. She's
I'm sure
totally
there's
awesome.
great documentation and well-documented code that helps you get through that process with minimum pain.
Well, to be honest, there is something in that vein, which is that you guys have consistent naming systems for most things. That's usually enough.
breadcrumbs. There were breadcrumbs.
Crumbs.
But yeah, and of course we are documenting how to do these things as we move forward, because there is a lot of lost knowledge from back in the Portalarium days. And I'll mention one of those things in a minute too. Yeah, so she's made the two white ducks, and she's figuring this stuff out on her own. It's just wonderful. And Lainey's doing the same type of thing. They're going in there, exploring, figuring out how to fix bugs, and how to make new things. So these are just, it's awesome that we have people on the team that are working in that vein. Speaking of the not documented. Last month, and this is for Star and Richard mainly, we have, after, geez, what has it been, 9 years? I guess technically 10, since it was an original plan. We've added a new lot size.
Ah, excellent.
So
Smaller or bigger?
yeah, I mean, there were like 18 different places that I had to go in programming to do that, and I documented the whole dang thing. So we now actually have design documents on how to go ahead and create a new lot. Not that we'll probably need another new lot size in another 10 years, but so we've created a market lot, and this is basically half of a row lot. Where players can put a player vendor and some deco on it and stuff like that. So
Oh, that's an awesome idea.
oh yeah,
Not a full house, though. So it just
yep,
keep it simple is what it's all about.
right, exactly. Just a spot. So and I mean, it figured it would be a good idea, but it was way more popular than I could have even imagined. So now there are bazaars, marketplaces, flea markets, all popping up all over New Britannia.
Very nice.
Yeah, very cool. You know, I was very excited about that, and wanted to share that with both of you guys, because it's that was a definite you know, a big thing. That was a big thing to have happen. So.
Yeah, I did that last month, and I well, he put in the lots last month, and I made sure to go through all the tents and awnings and make sure that they would fit on it. And then I made a vendor alley.
I'm looking at it.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I took a video. There are lots of pictures in the release notes, and then it was destroyed like 48 hours later because we updated the QA data.
Did you put that YouTube link also in the Twitch chat? Because they might like it there too if they haven't seen it
Well, I
already.
can. It was linked in the release
nice.
notes last month, so it's not a new surprise.
Okay, well here I'm gonna copy it over there if you didn't.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true for new players. It might be anybody new to our stream, but mainly this was for you guys, because you were not aware of this from over the last 30 days that we got that in there.
yeah.
So let's see
Nice.
here. And of course we added in a bunch of stuff for spring, planting beds, potted primroses, veronicas, bluebells, then and some other more additions to the Dark Gothic set. So we have and this is actually quite appropriate for you know, Star's birthday and everything. We have a full range of black or dark Gothic based furniture in the Crown Store now. Geez, what are we up to, like 18 pieces, something like
Oh, I
that?
have no idea.
Yeah, it's a lot, and there's still more to do too. So we have a backlog of those sitting there, actually ready to go, and we're putting them into the store a little bit at a time. So one other thing to note is that because it's Darkstar's birthday, on an annual basis, we have a list of Darkstarr rare items that are put into the store for a brief period of time. That ranges from thrones, clock towers, there's a cloak, pavers, and of course the Lord British versus Darkstarr battle banner, which is always a popular item. So
You know which side to put the banner on. Despite his birthday. You can fly it one day a year in the other position.
I actually have the two banners in front of my my house in my town, and one of them is locked to Darkstarr, and one of them's locked to Lord British.
All
So
right, all right. Fair enough.
I'm
Fair
all
Hey,
about
commit, that's
balance.
what I hear. Tries to walk the line between the two.
There you go. So those will be in the Crown Store until May 27th. So go ahead and check that out and grab stuff there.
You should check the Ask a Dev channel.
Was that we'll go through it? There's stuff in there.
Yeah, there's one new one.
Oh yeah, look at that. All right, let me see. We got. Oh, that's interesting. We have we have a request for dark fireworks, black fireworks.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
That
Oh
is
wow!
interesting.
Like in sort of honor of the recent Dune film.
Oh yeah,
Or
Nice.
Darkstar.
Hmm. Yeah, no,
Well,
that's
I like
I
it.
approve.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Even Lord British approves of that. That's just cool.
I mean, neat looking.
So, all right, yeah, I'll look into that, see if we can make that happen. So, where now I gotta find the channel again. Stupid thing keeps moving around.
I had a
Stupid
player in here that's
Google.
actually chatted to me for a moment in Romanian.
Huh.
You know Romanian?
A little bit, yeah. I have relatives from the Carpathians.
Wow.
There are many things about me you don't know.
Apparently so.
So let's see. All right, yeah, I'm almost to the end of my stuff. So, bug rewards for those in the bug brigade. If you're not in the bug brigade, you might want to join up. If you want to get into the bug brigade, send a PM to me in the forums, and we'll get you on the list. Basically, players who want to help refine the game, improve, and eliminate the bugs that exist can join into that program, and on a monthly basis, we will send you rewards based on your activity of posting bugs or helping test bug fixes or getting on the QA server to help us do testing directives for new stuff coming into the game and or even researching more difficult bugs like the lava pools, which are a real pain in my butt. With all that said, the bug rewards have traditionally been very late in being delivered, but we made some changes around, and Allium is compiling the data for me, and then I'm mailing out the rewards. And so far, last month we were on time, and this month it looks like we're going to be on time again as well. So awesome. And
We just traded tasks. I gave him one I didn't like to do, so
yep, and that means that I'm getting that done pretty quickly as well. So that yeah, actually it was a good trade because I really don't find the one that I took over as being you know, a weight.
onerous.
Yeah, onerous. Yeah. So yeah, definitely it was a good trade. I think I got the better stick end of that one. So let's see here. Okay, yeah, as I said earlier, we're talking about the subscriber program. We're still working on getting the expanded subscriber programs on the website so we could get those done. The inner workings are all set in the game database and the project, so we just need to get the interface done on the website so that way you guys can sign up for that. Basically, what will happen is that you have an option right now to subscribe to the game, optionally, completely optional, for $9 a month. And with that, you get there's titles that you get periodically, die packs, obsidian potions, which you normally can buy those obsidian potions. There's a little bit of a bonus to some of the effects, as if you're a subscriber, you get a little bit of an additional boon. And of course, you get Kodos. So right now, you do $9 a month, you get 900 Kodos, so it's a one-for-one thing. But then you get all the additional stuff that comes along with the subscription. We are going to add an $18 level, a tier 2, that will get you 2,000 kodos. So it's going to be a little sliding scale, go up. So you get a bigger discount on the kodos, and then if you were to buy them on the website. And then you get all the stuff that you would normally get on the tier 1 of the subscription as well. Again, these subscriptions help keep the game running. So you know, we strive not to have any paywalls or pay to win in the game. The subscriptions are important to make sure that we have enough money to continue running the game and expanding. And so far, you know, this is proving to be a good thing. So
And I see we're coming up at the top of the next hour, and I know there's a couple of us that have youngins that will need to be dealt with.
gotcha.
Any more pricing you want to do before that witching hour?
Yes, sir. Let me go ahead and run the prisonings for that. And
I'm pulling for Lord British, man. I'm pulling for Lord British. I've been saying Happy Birthday Darkstarr like a whole bunch.
oh, happy to say it one more
Okay.
time right now, right now.
Right now, quick, say it now. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know Lord British and I need to run, so we can, while we're queuing up those prizes, we can say our au revoirs. So, like I was saying at the beginning, thank you, community, for just making this happen and building an incredible network of players and player towns and events and parties and quests and incredible just places and things. And it just, every time I see what's going on, it just amazes me what you guys are doing with the world that we built for you. So I'm just so proud of what you continue to do. So thank you. It's an honor to continue to be involved, even if just a little bit of. So thank you.
Absolutely.
And my au revoir is actually did say ditto to what Star said, but also just thank you, Star. It's not only happy birthday to you, sir, but you really did lead this team, this project, masterfully, despite my attempts to derail it regularly. And so thank you, sir. Happy birthday.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, very, very much happy birthday. It's great to see your face again. And obviously, well, normally I go down to work with Scotty once a month. This month I will not be going down. He and I are going to telework instead. So I will probably be down so we can meet up in May, if that's okay with you. To start.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that should be fun on my end too. I think we already have those days set aside. I forget what those days are, but absolutely, it would be a pleasure, Star, to see you as well if we can get together and do some kind of lunch or something.
Yeah, I'll be around. You guys can come over to the east side.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
Awesome.
and especially, hey, I always like sharing good and cool food places. If you have anything cool.
Oh yeah, we have an amazing taco place across the street, Granny's Tacos.
Oh, awesome.
And, Abuela makes them like herself. It's
nice.
really good.
Tacos straight from the abuela are always the best.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm just going to inject one thing, and then we'll do the last three prizings while Star and Richard are here. Is that again, this is our monthly stream that we usually do right after the release. That's why I have to interject with a bunch of our standardized housekeeping stuff. So I apologize for that. But we're looking at increasing the number of streams that we do, and one of the things that I am planning is that when Scotty and I are working on, or when I'm working on the game, that I'll be doing some live streaming of the development work. So talk to Scotty about that a little bit. And so at this point, since we're teleworking, we might be able to do that during April, but definitely during May while I'm down there. We'll try to set up a stream and so you guys could see get a sneak peek of what we are actually working on for that month for June.
Hmm.
So. Um,
And yeah, and look for more posts for me, by the way, too, because my desire is to not only create cool new things that you all can see, but also from time to time, whenever possible. In fact, with everything I try to make, I also try to fix a few things in the background as well. So despite the fact that it is slow, we are still looking back into all the things that we want to fix and make better bit by bit, bug by bug. And so, in addition to the things I'm making, I'm also going back and helping Stephen fix stuff whenever possible. So, just so you know.
Let's prize away. I'm being summoned from below.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, we have the 3 prizes. So, who's doing readings this time? I don't know where.
I'll do it again.
Okay. All right. You got the list?
It's my birthday. All right. So,
Okay.
another set of the Total Eclipse cloak. Turn around, bright eyes. Our winners are Cabezon, Sanyo.
Whoa!
So thanks for wishing me happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Rigged.
I finally got one. I think it's
Aphrodite
the first one
Olymp.
ever.
All right. So congratulations, you 3 bright-eyed individuals.
Who's the third one again?
Aphrodite Olymp.
Nice.
Olympe.
Olympe.
Two-handed Darkstarr sword goes to Grolgar, Svartis, and Odin Dasgard. The Darkstarr Heavy Chaos Shield goes to Justinia Riga, Alpha 1, and Shawnee Dethartus.
Hmm.
And the Darkstarr Silver Moon Dial goes to Temujin, 4 Daniels, Idsias Nomus. Congratulations. And then Darkstarr Metronome goes to Sagarativ or Sagara TV. I don't know how I'm just gonna. And then Beldum Crony and Arya Blood Moon. So, congratulations, everyone. So, Sanyo, what are you gonna do with your Total Eclipse clip?
I
Lord
don't
British.
know. I'll give it to Lord British.
No, you have to give it to a player.
The first player to whisper me will get it. Sanio, Sannio. Waiting on it. No one's whispering. I have no one. Oh, there you go. CC gets it.
Oh, I should have
Yay,
shot.
CC. All right, congratulations, all of the big wieners.
Very good. And with that, I must head out.
Yes, I must head out too.
Great work, everybody.
Thank
Happy
you. Thank you,
birthday.
everyone. Happy birthday to me.
Hey,
Yes,
happy
take
birthday.
care. Happy birthday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, what goofballs. Okay.
It was great. I'm so glad they were able to come.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can continue on here a little bit.
I'm
Let's see.
trading the cloak to CC right now.
Okay.
She's actually right in front of me. So easy. There you go. Done. I'm done.
And Owlsley says in chat, Cece, how much? All right, so guys, one of the things that we usually do, and we definitely have a lot of people in the scene right now, so wanted to make sure I give a heads up that, well, just to be blunt about it, there may be a dragon showing up. So if anybody here is not prepared to battle, just be aware of that. So you don't want to get aggro.
I saw some kind of Summon Damon Chaos Bolt event going on, but I don't know what someone calling forth a dragon.
Yeah, that's well, basically is like right now there's I don't even know if they're out. They probably killed them all. Rabbits and squirrels out there. You know, they're not really that hard. But yeah, so if you haven't gotten the buff, get the Atos buff. and that's over on the east side.
Oh
Thank you
yeah,
for
how do you
correcting me, saying the
how do you
left.
do that? Let me see.
Yeah, run over. You see the fountain all the way over
Oh,
on the
I'm
east
Yeah,
side
following
there.
say
Sanyo.
Yeah, jump in the
Sanyo's going to
fountain.
it.
Yeah, just jump in the fountain for a brief second, and there should be. Yeah, you just got the little
effects on you.
sparkles.
Nice.
Yes,
And
so
that
there's a
gives you a
little
buff.
pool in front of the statue. If you look at the statue's hand in particular, you can see the effects that stream up from the fountain through her hand.
Oh
When
yeah.
you go in the fountain, you'll have like effects on you that let you know that you have a blessing.
Yeah.
And then also when you
This-
look at your name in the top left, there'll be a little icon underneath. You put your mouse over it, and the icon will say "Blessing of Atos, maximum strength."
Oh
Right.
nice.
Yeah,
And then
this did something really nice with these fountains, aside from the buffs, which is that the effects that stream from her hand, they're different for each fountain.
Oh, cool. That's neat. That I did not know.
They
And
have gravity
Just
to them,
copy
which
it.
is nice when not every effect has to have gravity, but these ones do, and it's kind of nice. It's a nice extra little bit of quality that gets added to it.
And as an additional double bonus, since it's double XP right now and everything, if you go to the other fountain that's on the west side of the stage, then you jump into that one and you get a training bonus that only lasts while you're in the scene, but it'll give you 100% skill learning speed. So if you're trying to raise a skill, then that is another thing to do. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to start spawning some stuff. We're going to go into that last stage here, and
The final stage.
yes, which I'm going to make myself invisible so that way I don't draw aggro. And we'll see what happens. I might have to reload scene here because I already spawned some stuff. One of these days I'll get around to fixing the summon processes. Let me see, where are we now? Okay, yeah, we just did those. All right, good. All right. Making sure that I'm on track with everything I'm trying to do. Boom, boom, boom. No, it should be this one. Here it is. Okay. All right, so not going to do a dragon right away. We'll
Oh, you went offline.
yeah, that's when you go it actually let me oh, you know, because the rabbits disappeared, that's why. So when you go GM Ghost, it doesn't show you online anymore.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we're completely hidden. This way we could spy on the players.
It's always the best. Oh,
Okay, yeah.
is that your dragon, Sanyo?
Not mine.
It just came up and just kind of laid down and hung out beside you. What is that?
There's no name on it.
It's
so.
somebody's pet.
Probably a weaver.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh, it is. Yeah,
Oh.
it's just really high. Ferocious orange wyvern.
Oh, yeah, you're right. The name's way up there. Ferocious Orange.
Yeah.
okay.
I saw Knight Rider's body laying there a minute ago, but it's gone now, and he's standing back up here on the little thing. I don't know what murdered him earlier. He's just laying there dead.
I have to reload the scene because of the summon limit. Okay. Oh, so just while I'm waiting for this to happen, to re-review, because I know this is a little chaotic. It's actually ideally chaotic for this stream. If you buy the 10,000 Kodo pack on the website, then between yesterday and the 4th during this week, it will special as a special thing. It'll come with that new version of the Darkstarr metronome that we made. and as a bonus. So, and you could buy that pack as many times as you want. You'll get 1 metronome for each time you buy a pack. So we're not limiting that or anything along those lines. And that's the only way to get that metronome. Once that sale is over, that metronome will not be offered in the vault. It will not come back as a rare. It will not be added to the Crown Store. That will be it. That's the only number, just like the original one. Well, the original one, we had it a couple of times show up in I think it was in a telethon once, and at the end of the dark time, it was thrown in as a login reward.
At the end of dark time.
Yeah, well, that's when the game had gone down for a number of days because we had an issue with the database. But that's a long story, and that's why we just call it dark time. We don't talk about it. But this one will not make a return engagement at all. So that whatever number we sell, that'll be it. So, all right, and let's see here. So I am going to go ahead and spawn something. Is it? What time is it? All right, good. It's good. All right. I want to make sure there's light. So we are heading into the light. Okay.
Don't go into the light, children. But there's peace and serenity in the light.
All right, that didn't work. Why didn't that not work?
Light makes my eyes water.
Oh, I see why.
I have photosensitivity. I'll sneeze.
Nice.
Oh, wow. A giant clockwork dragon just appeared. Nice.
Oh, that is huge.
That makes me think of Wicked, by the way. I just finally saw Wicked.
Oh, yeah?
And,
I saw that. That was good.
Yeah, the giant clock, the giant clock of the time dragon made me think of that. They barely covered that in the actual play, but...
Oh, I saw the play. I didn't see it.
Oh, have you never read the book?
I never read the book either. Just the play.
Yeah, if you saw the play, you saw the giant dragon up above. That's meant to be the time dragon, referring to the clock of the time dragon, and it refers to it only barely. But yeah, in the actual book, you learn a lot more about what the clock of the time dragon represents. It's a huge mystery cult that exists. It's meant to be sort of like very similar to like the cult of Dionysus or the Eleusinian mystery cult of ancient Greece that all of the philosophers were a part of, all the Greco-Roman philosophers and all the emperors all the way up to Constantine. So yeah, pretty cool, weird stuff. And Wicked is, the books are just so much more intense.
So this dragon actually holds up reasonably well at this really large size.
It's so enormous. How did it get so big in here?
That's their default size.
Yep.
Oh, really?
This is the monster that Steven summoned. It's not a pet or anything. If that's what you would think.
It's just hanging out though. It's not doing anything.
Oh, it's
It's
dead.
dead. They killed it in seconds.
Oh, they killed it that quick? Good Lord.
Yeah.
My God.
Well, when you have like, I don't know what it is, 128 people all attack.
All battering it simultaneously.
Yeah, we maxed out the scene during this stream. So.
Oh my God. Which only makes me think of it. Always makes anything like this always reminds me, especially with Lord British and Darkstarr are both here at the same time. It just reminds me of the most ancient weirdness that happened in UO when, right in the middle of a thing, someone summoned something that ended up because Richard forgot to put his invulnerability on himself. He forgot to put himself in God mode, and so someone appeared and killed him, and that caused this madness to occur. Where in retribution, Starr summoned, being Lord Blackthorn at the time, summoned like dozens of demons that came in and began slaughtering everyone at that giant gathering. It was probably one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen.
So that was in the UO beta.
Yes.
The character's name was Reigns.
The one who killed Richard?
Yeah, Richard didn't, like you said, he didn't send himself to be invulnerable. They thought they didn't expect anyone to shoot him, and they actually thought that I think Richard was on a platform or balcony or something, and they thought he couldn't be reached, but Reigns attacked him, and then the thought at the time was that it was kind of considered an exploit in the way he did it. So he get banned, but just from the rest of the beta test. You know,
Oh.
It wasn't like banned for life or anything, so he was allowed to come back into the game when it actually launched.
Well, I'm glad he came back to the game when it actually launched, because I mean, honestly, it has always been, you know, in time immemorial, an attempted desire to try to kill Lord British. I mean, all the way up to and including the fact that with Ultima 9, we had somewhere in there a bread.
Yeah, it completely worked with all the single player games, like you're saying. There was some way to kill Lord British, and then Reigns sort of kept the tradition going.
Yeah, I think that's great that he did. To be
for
honest,
all of us. Reigns
Yes.
did it for all of us.
He did it for all of us. Yeah. Such a dictator, Lord British is.
So I didn't get there to see that. I did get in at the very end of the UO beta, and I was super happy to get to see the first player town, which was Mystery City.
Oh,
And it was just like 3 buildings in a clearing. I was just super psyched. I was like so thrilled that, like, oh my god, there's like this sort of virtual world, and you can sort of adventure and then also interact with players. And these players somehow made a city. They put down their own buildings, and they have like a city. It just like blew my mind.
yeah, it was incredible. And of course, we get to see all the really hilarious bare bones, bizarreness that back in, before it ever launched, and that included just insane things like people running terrified through the forest as they're being chased by rabbits that can cause so much damage they'd immediately die. And other people like running through other groups of people kiting a killer rabbit like that would just murder everybody. I mean, there was no balance at the time, and so you could just easily be killed by tiny bunnies and things like that.
Me and my friend had this concept of we called it the sweet run. So when you're running through the woods in UO, and if you're running like diagonally, sometimes you don't actually hit like bushes or trees or anything, and you could just like go for a long time in that certain like straight direction. And we would both use the keyboard, and some people use the mouse. If you use the mouse, often you sort of bump into things. But if you're getting killed by a monster or another player, if you were super lucky, you would fall into the sweet run and be able to get away by like a screen or two, and then sort of cut left or right, and then the bad guy or player wouldn't be able to follow you. So yeah, we counted on the sweet run a lot.
Who is the giant that just appeared out there, and what makes him so? The one with that really cool looking curved blade.
That is a player, and I believe he has drunk some potions to grow his height. And those stack, so you can just keep drinking potions and make yourself rather large.
Oh, it's pretty impressive.
Hey, I do have it right that B10 is higher than T10, right?
I think B10 is higher, yes.
It should be boss.
I think the default one you're looking for is the T.
Yes.
The B is something that Chris came up with, and I think he meant it to be boss.
Right, that's what I figured.
T is is tier.
Right. Yeah, that's why I figured.
and B would work with. Yeah.
Yeah, and based on the fact that these guys kill things in the 5 seconds, that's why I wanted to give them the boss ones.
Oh.
Yeah, the ones with the boss, they aren't necessarily balanced with that same correct tier. It was just Chris sort of loaded it up with different abilities and numbers that didn't necessarily match the standards.
I love the giant bunnies of doom.
And this is the this is part of the balance aspect of things that
it just went down to
get done.
It just went down to seconds per frame instead of frames per second now.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I'm just seeing. I'm trying to run away from this dragon, and I feel like he's following me or something. It's just like all around me.
Oh my god, the horrid miasma cloud of just numbers of people like either dying or killing is insane.
For those of you guys who are on stream or watching this later on YouTube, I'm running this currently. I'm doing the stream right now on a laptop that's about 7 years old and is dying. So I have a desktop that I'm hoping to get done, get that up and running. That'll bring me into a situation where I won't be doing slideshows sometimes.
But I'm playing on my happy new computer that's all, good and glorious and delicious, and I'm still getting seconds per frame suddenly. Well, it's starting to
Well,
speed up.
actually, I can tell you, if you recall, we had a discussion about the fact that you have nowhere near the amount of RAM that you need.
Oh, so I need more RAM.
Yeah, you're running with 16 gigs of RAM on that machine, and we need to upgrade it.
That makes me weep.
I know.
I must have more.
Yep. Well, even though I know you told me you gave them the specs and you said this is what I do for a living, this is what I need, and they didn't have any clue. So
They apparently failed. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
I mean, they then showed it to Chris, and Chris seemed to indicate that he thought it was good enough, but apparently it was not good enough.
no, it's not good enough. If you're doing like if we run the game and the Unity editor on our machines, we will use all the 16 gigs because Windows itself uses at least 4 gigs of RAM just for the operating system. So, with new technology comes new requirements, and
So I saw that Azurion DeFriends mentions he just arrived. So I think there's no more prize and things. Is that correct? We're basically done with this mainstream, and now we're just sort of noodling around.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if we're still here in a half hour, then I'll throw out another one. But yeah, we're in post-stream.
Lingering aftermath.
Yeah.
Oh, Cabazon has offered me potions of growth. That's very kind of you.
I have to reload the level again because of the stupid summon command. So the summon command, I guess I'll give you another kind of story. We had a thing for a while called GM potions, which were available to some of our players, but that program had to be suspended because there's a bug with some of the functionality of that stuff. So we've told all the streamers not to use those potions. It could cause problems. In fact, I gotta go clean that up and pull the potions back. But basically, the commands to summon creatures that even we don't use the potion, but we have another way to do it, is bugged. It doesn't work quite properly.
So should I not be using these potions of growth to get big?
Oh no, you're fine. It's just specifically it's a game master potion that allows the players to temporarily have the powers of a game master, and of course it's a very small subset of commands that we allow them to have. They could slow down time, speed up time, change the weather, and summon monsters, but there's some issues with it, spewing errors and crap like that. So basically, we suspended that program for the moment. I'm giving this explanation because on stream they're seeing me having to reload the scene every once in a while. So this is actually a very specific issue for when I'm issuing the summon command. I basically have to reset because it's the game is not acknowledging when the spawns are dead, and we have a limit of how many creatures I could spawn at any given time. So
yeah, the GM spawning is a lot different than the natural spawning that the game is supposed to do.
Right. Yeah, and I have to go through that.
The normal spawners that are pre-placed in the world, they handle additions and subtractions so much better.
Fun.
I mean, they need to. They have to. How big you are, Nimrod.
I know, and green. I get a green face to go along with it for a while, which is fun. That's excellent. Thank you so much, Cabazon. It's fun. I mean, especially because I mean, from my standpoint, and this is why I hadn't already been made into friends with some of my other fellow devs, is because I spend so much time, like in Photoshop or Max. I'm behind the wheel of getting things created or whatever, and I hardly ever have time to jump in and actually kind of see folks playing the game, and I really need to do it more often. I've jumped in a few times with folks to go on tours of places I built. Like every once in a while, it's fun for me to kind of do a little guided godlike tour through some of the dungeons I built, because there are certain folks that I know, certain players that they do a lot of social stuff, but they never go adventuring, so they've never gotten to see all the work that I had a chance to do. And not just me, of course, just the amazing amount of work that was done by all the devs just to make some of those deep and very dangerous, often adventuring places possible. So, and to me, it's always cool to go back and revisit those old places I built. Of course, sometimes it's horrifying. I see all the, like, oh no, that's broken, or oh no, that texture doesn't look the way I wanted it to, or whatever. I'll see, failings. But that just goes along with the territory. Sometimes it becomes bugs that I know I need to fix. But it's cool to be able to experience things like these potions and look at some of this crazy dragon activity and such stuff I never get to see normally.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah, my poor computer. It so wants to see it in fast speed, but it's not getting to. But it's amazing activity going on.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to open up Task Manager on your machine, right? And,
Yeah.
and you don't have to. I'm just saying, but if you did, you'll see that your RAM is probably at 100%.
Oh yeah, it's just maxing
Yeah,
out.
and it's paging out to the hard drive, and that's what's causing your problems. So, yeah, this
Hey
is
guys, I need to take off as well.
okay, man. Have a good one. Thanks for
All
joining.
right.
See you guys later.
Yeah,
And
great.
happy birthday, Darkstarr. He's not here, but I'll say it anyway.
Yeah, well,
Bye, everyone.
Yeah, we'll have
Bye.
to get together for lunch soon.
Oh yeah. See you guys.
Yep.
Bye bye.
See you. We should invite him when I come down. We meet up with Star and everything.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
You gotta find out
Sure.
when Richard's gonna be in Texas again. So.
I
meet up with him.
I forgot to ask. I meant to ask him if he was going to come into Texas to observe the eclipse. I mean, it seems like it would be just his cup of tea.
Well, he's actually scheduled to be at Yuri's night over in Fredericksburg.
What is Yuri's night? I've not heard of that.
Yeah, it's for the eclipse. On the day of the eclipse, there's going to be a whole thing going on in Fredericksburg, which is just to the west and a little bit north of you in Austin, right?
Yeah.
And he's on the list as being one of the VIPs that's supposed to be at that event, which is to honor Yuri.
Gagarin.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just gonna say, help me. And yeah, he's so they're honoring him, and of course it's doubling as a big giant festival thing for the eclipse and all that. So.
Well, that's interesting. I'll have to look that up. Oh, by the way, Cabazon asked me here. He asked if I could comment more on the underground and how it is connected, and especially what Bucher C is all about. And I have to admit, I don't know what that is. Bucher C. I've never heard that word before.
Bunker.
Bunker C.
Bunker. What is Bunker?
Sania would have been the person to talk about Bunker C.
Yeah.
There are a couple of bunkers that are remnants of the old world that were places where people tried to hide to survive the cataclysm. Basically, places run by preppers.
Oh.
And there's Bunker T under Airy, and there's Bunker C under South Blackblade Mountains, I think. And yeah, neither of those groups survived. But those bunkers are not connected to the big network of underground tunnels throughout Novia.
It's not like the whole great underground and the great underground, that whole greater interconnectivity of the underground, that's actually after my official time too. That was something that was worked on and conceived of after I had been involved in helping make like all the individual dungeons, but I know it was discussed. To what extent are they all interconnected now? Has that been completed? Has that been done?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can get from the Ardoris sewers all the way up to Run Vault and Drock Vault, all the way over to to Skrek.
Oh
I-
wow.
It's the whole thing.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I assumed, and someone had mentioned at one point in time, and I think I found some at one point in time where it was obvious that because I mean I worked on, for instance, the Hilt Underground, and
Yep, that's connected.
yeah, when I went down in there and I started going down in some of the tunnels that connect up to the where the lich is, where all the dead are buried underneath the spider warrens.
Yep.
Somewhere in there, I remember going, wait a minute, what's this tunnel? I don't remember building this connection. So I'm assuming that was part of it, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That connects to Paladis Passage, I think.
Oh, that's interesting.
And to another one on the other side that I can't remember.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I wish, back to you, Cabazon, I wish I could speak more intelligently and informedly about the connectedness of the underground, but I actually, much of that is a mystery to me as well, because I didn't end up doing that work specifically. And that's something new, the whole bunker C, bunker T, that's something new, and that's very interesting. I love the idea of finding that and like checking out where they obviously failed to survive the cataclysm. I guess is there lore? Are there books to read in there and things like that? I'm assuming that's.
Oh yes, Bunker C especially. I will. We could go adventuring sometime.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see it. That would be super cool. Oh, and by the way, if someone could send me a link to the and you can just do it in the regular other chat channel. Send me a link to get to the video that guy put up that you all were talking about in the very beginning, where it was drawing some new players in. I'd like to.
Oh,
I'd like
yeah,
to
sure.
watch that.
Yeah, that's actually posted up in the soda. We could give you a link directly to it.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I very much appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh,
yeah,
Cabazon is offering. He's providing me a bunch of obsidian armor and weapons. It's very kind of you. I actually literally have very little of any of that kind of stuff. The special clothing that you see on me right now, back in the days of List, he helped me get all this stuff together so I could make a grand appearance at a storytelling session. So now thanks to Cabazon, I now have a set of armor and a weapon that I can wear if I take people on a trip down into the Underdark area and like show off some of the stuff that I've made. Something at least would look better than these kind of merchant / storyteller's robes that I'm wearing right now. So thank you, Cabazon. That's very kind of you.
So in the future, yes, I remember the conversation that we had, you and me, Scotty, about those dungeon areas in underneath Artifice, or not Artifice, Hill, actually.
Yeah, under Hill.
Yeah,
that's right.
And so that would actually make a good stream one day, or we go into all that type of stuff, and maybe one day we could actually make that a reality.
Yeah, I'd love that. I mean, honestly, there are a lot of really cool areas, because back when I was building a lot of those dungeons and in the earliest days, I was doing it based on lore offered to me directly by Richard, and it was based on, and not all of it ended up getting into the game, but my build out of those sites was based under the assumption that everything that Richard told me about would get in to those areas. So there might even be spots that things happen that's like, well, that's weird, or that looks strange, I wonder why that's there. It could be that, like, Lum never got around to creating the conversation for it, or functionality never got hooked up for it, or whatever. But all of those areas got made and based on the lore of the time that I was offered. And so I was very careful to make sure that I did as much justice to the lore as I possibly could, regardless of whatever other later stuff might have been done. So yeah, doing that and like kind of going back as a retrospective would probably be a lot of fun, and that way people can kind of hear about stuff that we had intended but never got in. Those are little Easter eggs, really. They never will go in necessarily, although who knows? You never know. Some of that lore might be revisited in later episodes.
Yeah, that's a no promises type of thing.
That's right.
I always wondered if the top of Hilt was supposed to be accessible. I mean, there's a big tower visible from the outside, but you enter and you only go down.
Oh yeah, so So yeah, actually, that's one of the pieces of the lore. One of the things that was originally meant to happen is that when you go into Hild, you fight your way all the way up, but when you finally go before the kobolds that are in there, and they were supposed to talk. Oh, here come the demons, and they were supposed to talk with you. Uh, when they were supposed to talk with you, you had your chance if you answered it correctly. Uh, then what would end up happening is that they would befriend you, and if you promised them that you would help them go down and clear out the spiders. But one of the things that was supposed to be talked about during that conversation was that they were, once they clear out the spiders and they feel safe going deeper, that would also give them the chance to kind of grow their sort of little clan. And their intent was to begin clearing out the upper towers as well, much of which was collapsed. And so there was
Ah,
eventually going to be like a kobold group that the next time you would go and visit them, they would have opened up the pathways leading to the towers going up, and you could explore those as well. But it was just something that never ended up happening in the earliest iterations. So it was always there, and it was always intended, but not built out yet.
still collapsed. That's fine.
Still collapsed for the time being.
Yep.
As it is, it threw me for a loop the last time I went there, and I walked up and there was two doors to get in, and one was like one door if you've done this, and the other door if you've done that, or something. I forget exactly what it says, but
Mhm.
kind of made me go, wait, what?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
one
supposed to automatically switch you between whether you need the quest version of the scene and not, but that wasn't working too well, so Sanio just put in a second door.
Okay, that makes sense. It did weird me out at first. I wasn't sure what was going on with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it goes down to the tech, and this is like for everybody, like I was talking about phase one, phase two. We're now in phase three, we're cleaning up and stabilizing the game and making it better. And some of the tech that was implemented back in the first phase, there was a lot of rushing to get things, all these different aspects of the game done. So some things didn't weren't completed or weren't looked at with enough detail. So hopefully we'll be able to get some of that stuff fixed up. Still a lot to do.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, I mean, being able to go down and take people down in there and show them some of that stuff is really fun. And it's pretty cool. I mean, the stuff that Cabazon just gave me, he mentioned in the chat that he made these in the Obsidian Forge, which is not an easy thing to do. They said they still need to be masterworked and enchanted, but the fact that he was even able to get down there and work all those items on the Obsidian Forge is pretty impressive, because there are a lot of people that I've talked to who they just couldn't. I mean, it was just so hard to work on that forge with the constant, like the
Oh yeah,
incessant.
you have to bring a friend.
Oh
Right.
my God, yeah.
Yeah. So
So yes.
let
So
me
thank
let
you
me
again, Cabazon.
sorry, let me
Sure.
interject here for a second. So Dabslot is asking about sailing, and throughout the stream, I've been noting that he was asking about some features and stuff that were, as I tried to explain, were talked about during phase one, and then even possibly into phase two, as far as the development of the game so far. Currently, we do not have the technology or the ability to add that into the game. So having players on boats is not currently on the list of things to do for the next year or two. So basically, what I need to do is get us onto Unity 2021 and beyond before I will be able to do that, plus hire more resources. So guys, support the game, help us out. And that should be able to get us into a situation where we could start looking at mechanics again. And I know that there's even another person who's been posting a bunch of stuff in the forums talking about some of the older ideas and even a lot of good suggestions. But again, team is way too small to be able to implement this stuff at the time, at this moment. So, please keep that in mind that. We love hearing your ideas and everything, but the phases that Portalarum used to be in, where it was like, yeah, let's do that, and we're being more realistic as to what we can accomplish, and we don't want to overpromise. I absolutely would rather be able to be in a situation is like, surprise, we did a thing, than to say, okay, we're trying to do this, or we're going to do this, or yeah, that's a good idea. I think we could think about that, and the wish list forms, we do look at them. We go through all the stuff. And we even have a new process in there that we'll acknowledge things, and we put them in different bins and sort it out, so that way if it's something that we're not going to do or we can't do right now, we'll say so.
Yeah, I archived 4 threads, I think, that were completed this last month.
Mm.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, so I say, trust me, I'd rather be able to say, yeah, we're going to do all these things, but right now the coffers, as it were, are not huge. Obviously the game is, if this was if this was a money grab, if it was a situation where we actually had the cash, I would actually make it happen. The game is not in danger of being shut down. The game is not going anywhere. Well, there's not even a but. What I'm trying to do is create more scenarios where you guys will want to support the game more, get more players into the game. You guys who have shown up because of Lazy Peon, that's awesome. And the more people who share videos and explain that the game is worth looking at, the better off we'll be. We're not sitting on that money. As soon as I could get more money in, we'll do more marketing, we'll hire more resources, and we'll make more of the changes that we want to see. Right now, game balance is definitely a thing that we want to try to get that done. And we also have mechanics that are on the table, that have been on the table, but said resources are limited, so trying to focus on core things, make sure the game is playable, and from there we could expand.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And every little bit counts, you know what I mean? I mean, in the same way that every little bit of our attention to it, whenever we have the chance, counts. And bit by bit you see the game improve, and bit by bit you see cool things added to it.
Yeah, right. So Crafty, that has nothing to do with us. Okay. Pangea is not a catnip project. It's not part of Shadow of the Avatar. I run this game now. That's it. Has nothing to do with it. So I am definitively saying that the stuff that was talked about from Portalarium is gone. Everything from before is gone. We are restructuring. We are redoing the game from here forward. So that's it. Okay.
Did we miss some question or something?
That's right. I run Bartertown.
Are you Master Blaster?
Yeah. I've been working on with the team for 6 years. So I actually started right before COVID, the end of 2019. Yeah, the end of 2019, October of 2019, I joined into the team, and basically just as like an intern, and I have a past history. I actually my first game that I developed was back when I was 18 years old. I had my own company back then. Shifted things around, became more of an electrical engineer, and focused on IT stuff, so I stopped doing programming for a long time. Then I kind of reinvigorated myself with it, with Elder Scrolls Online. Got involved over there. I was in the alphas, the closed alphas. Well, all alphas are closed, but I was very early into the development of Elder Scrolls Online, and was a member of the Sijic Order. In fact, some of my add-ons are still being used over there. Then I came over to Shadow of the Avatar and got involved in the same way, and started getting more and more involved. So finally, in the end of 2019, I ended up managing to wriggle my way into the team, and the first thing I did was I reorganized the bugs, made sure bugs were processed, brought in, and addressed. Bugs were not being processed as efficiently as they should, we'll say. And then from there, I just kept on expanding my skill sets. Actually, in a very similar way that Allium is, and Laney as well. I didn't really go to somebody and ask them to teach me things. I just went into the system and observed and figured it out and went from there. So I'm very happy with the people we have on the team now. They're all very much autonomous and know what they're doing and know when they might need to ask a question. They'll ask a question, but the game development of the project as it is even though we don't have as many design documents as I think I would like to see, we do have enough structure in the Unity project with the naming and things like that that you could figure out where the relationships are and move forward from there. So it's pretty good. So, oh yeah, you didn't see the bunny ears? I got bunny ears. This is a tribute to Bob the Builder.
Oh yes, excellent.
Yeah, very much so.
I saw a number of people wearing the bunny ears as well, of course, no doubt because of Easter or Ostara for those who celebrate it. But at the same point in time, one must never forget the glories of Bob the Builder and his bunny outfit.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's about where we are on that type of stuff. And I apologize if there's a lot of data, there's a lot of information. I'm still trying to get a number of things fixed up. On the website, I have new pages that I'm going to be putting up there. There'll be a policy dedicated page. There's going to be more pages. In fact, I was talking with one of the players just recently about putting up I don't want to do things in the forums anymore, right? So like in the past, what we would do is like, okay, we're going to go and put a dedicated forum thread for this thing. And like, here's an example is community cloaks, right? For the veteran players, everybody, well, I shouldn't say everybody, but the veteran players know that you can, if you have a player run event, whether it be in the game or in real life, you could request a community cloak, which is a cloak that has clasped hands on it, and we'll put that together for you and then deliver it to the players that are involved in your event, if they're have accounts in game. And you could specify the cloak style and the colors, the primary color, the secondary color. So not like the cloak I'm wearing. That's a custom cloak that we would put out as a devs, for either distribution or a reward or whatever. But the clasped hand cloak, there are, and after looking at it, there are actually, I think it was 4 different variations that we could do of that cloak currently. And there's hold on a second, get that going there, and let me see if I could give you guys something to do while I'm talking. Give you some more demons. Nope, that's not gonna do it. There. Yay, where that actually came up. These guys don't trigger the bug. That's pretty good. So the cloaks, for instance, instead of putting up a forum post, I want to actually put up a section on the website, part of a page that'll have the examples of the different cloak formats or styles that we offer, and to show what maybe some example color shadings, things along those lines, and that'll make it easier for players to go there, go look at the examples, send the email to support and say, yeah, I need a community cloak, here's the style I want, and here are the colors I want. So that way there's no guessing as to will that look the way it should in the game or whatever. We could actually put up examples and show screenshots of what they would be in the game. So, you know, we don't want to limit you to those colors, but at least this way you'll have a default palette and you'll have an idea of where it would be. So then again, this is just one example. There's so much that needs to be done. The player-owned towns, you know, the structure that came up just recently as well. That some people were asking about the, you know, how many. We have a chart, or there is a chart. I think a player made the chart someplace that shows how many NPCs you could have, how many lights, and you know, so on and so forth. But then there were. I guess it's still up there, right, Allium? That the for the square footage and how many. There used to be a chart that said you could have like 500 row
Yeah.
houses. You know,
There is a chart that shows all of the things that you get except for the square footage, and those are actually just on the pictures for the individual items. We should
Right.
probably consider adding to the chart because people expect it all in one place.
Exactly, right. So that just needs to be reorganized and fixed up a little bit. So, and then there's the website even links you to a forum thread that says, oh, and here's all the extra details about how to do a pot and all that stuff, and you know what the rules are and crap. All that should be on the website. You shouldn't have to go to the forums for that. And I know that there's a segment of the player community that avoids the forums or doesn't even, you know, they don't go onto the forums expecting that there would be official, you know, directions or rules or anything on there. So even the terms of service, that's going to be moved up onto the website as well. There'll still be a link to it in the forums because they need to be there. And Discord also requires that we have terms of service. So I'm going to be putting all that, but the website itself should be the official place because that's where you would expect to go. So, anyway, sorry if I go into ramble mode here, but as I said, there's a lot of stuff that to cover, and you know, we're trying to make the world a pleasant place for everybody to be, you know, and okay, so that's a new one. So Hemnu says they want a new size above Terralopolis.
I don't think any of the current templates have any more flat land than that you could use.
Yeah. So
we could make it bigger, but you wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to place anything.
And you know, that's actually an interesting point. Is that what's on my here's what's on my plate for the next couple of months. So this next cycle, because right now we're in what we call lockdown, right? So about a week before the release, we locked the project down, so that way nobody puts anything in that's dangerous, and so we can make sure the release is stable. We do put everything on QA, and we test on QA. And don't let me forget, I want to talk about that for a second too. And then after release, we make sure the game, the project has nothing new added to it until Monday. So like we're still in lockdown right now, right? From yesterday and through until about noon Monday when we have our next team meeting, we will not do anything dangerous in case we have to do a patch and to patch live server. We don't want to introduce anything that's not ready for live. These are processes that were in place and were set aside by when catnip was in full swing, and now being brought back because as I've said in previous streams, you'll notice that there's better stability now with the game as far as we don't put patches to live directly. Things all go on QA. They're all tested on QA. When possible, we make a QA patch public, so that way players can come in there and test stuff. When we're doing something that's oh, I don't know, shall we say a secret or a surprise or something that we definitely need to develop more that would have QA be unstable, we don't make a public patch. So when we do patch QA to the players, you'll notice the build numbers have huge jumps between them, as opposed to the live server, which is pretty much sequential unless a build actually fails, because of a process problem. So I'm kind of addressing a couple of things here because recently somebody has come up to me and was asking, saying, and this is a very specific thing that doesn't make any sense to me at all. They thought that the live server is backed up to QA, which is not the case, not at all. The live server is backed up several times a day, and those are stored. Those backups are stored. I use that database, that backup database, to update the QA database once in a while, right? For a while there, when we had a larger, the team has shrunk since I started 6 years ago, but when we had more people, I was dedicated to making sure that QA had updates like once or twice a month. The database was refreshed and public patches were put out and things like that. Right now, we don't have the personnel, to make sure that happens consistently. So right now, that's kind of, a best effort type of situation. But the QA server is still actively being used. All of our new work goes through it. We actively test all the stuff before the release is, the gold image for the next release is made and put up on the live server. Any bugs that come through are in theory going to be minor ones. So, things that nobody has caught. Even when we do player testing directives, the market lot, there was a bug that snuck through that we didn't notice, and the players didn't find it either. And honestly, it wasn't that bad of a situation, but fixed it, and now the live server has that fix in place. And if you want to know what it is, go look at the patch notes there, and it's in there. So, so as far as the exact size of the team, that varies because we have a lot of contractors, that are involved, and depending on what's going on, that's when we will engage specific personnel. So I can't really give you an accurate number, but suffice to say that the team is less than 10. It's definitely small, and
Right.
We're hoping to get to the point where we could actually get more personnel on full time. Right now, yes, we do have full-time personnel. We don't actually have volunteers in the sense of volunteers. So there's community side people that do volunteer work, and out of the goodness of their heart for the community. But as far as developers, the developers are all working, and I'm full time. This is my job. This is this is my living. So I don't know what to say about that, because there are certain people who have been reporting that we don't have any full-time devs, that the devs it's all community run, and none of this is true. Granted, most of, if not all of our devs are part of the community. We might have even come from the community, but we're devs. It's not that we're not just doing this as a hobby, guys. So, and again, I'm pointing that to certain people, so. Chris does still own the company. That's from Dracus. Dracus the Determined. So yes, Chris still owns the company, and that's his role right now. Is he's the owner of the company. He pays the bills, pays the taxes, and I consult with him periodically. But his involvement in the production of the game has ceased. So that's where we are as far as that's concerned right now. So. As I said, we're now entering into phase 3 of the development of the game. Based on Portalarium being phase 1, Catnip being phase 2, and it's still Catnip, but we're entering into phase 3. So, yes, So Hemdu, if you actually have skill set, reach out to support and we'll talk about that. But of course, Scotty was he re-engaged more actively. I guess it's about a year ago.
Yes.
And houses were definitely, or I shouldn't say are definitely on the list of things to do. Scotty has had a rough year. So,
Oh man.
and I'm going to stop here and let you talk a little bit. I don't know what detail you want to provide on that, but we did not accomplish the goals that we had set out to. But as you guys you could see where Scotty's finger has touched things in the game. So he's definitely been around and doing stuff, still want to get to the original goals. So. But
Yeah, and those are still like on my radar. What I do is I take, because I work these days, I do contract work for a variety of different folk, but I've never had my eye off of Shroud of the Avatar. I've always had it on. I've always had it in a place where I could get to it and do things when I could. And now I'm just able to add more time as possible and as is necessary. I don't want to break the bank or anything, but at the same point in time, I also want to make sure that I'm available to help out, and that's why I've been encouraging Stephen to come down to Austin, because that is an impetus for me to actually sit down with him and get some good works done. And that's everything from getting him involved in like knowing how to do some Mac stuff that he's never had a chance to do before.
Yep.
Not that I can truly be a tutor. I mean, my God, it's so difficult to try to tutor someone doing Macs. But whenever he has the chance and the time, I make sure to show him some tricks of the trade that at least allows him to also get in and clean up some stuff himself from time to time and actually do some stuff and get some things accomplished that he couldn't have done before. But simultaneously, that gives me the chance to go in, hear from him, make sure he knows, because sometimes I have trouble. I mean, he's in there all the time. I'm in here only as often as I can be. And sometimes I forget. I just forget how to do things, or I forget what not to do to keep myself from getting in trouble. So I don't want to break things, and so having him there to help me out and make sure that I don't break things as I go is super helpful, while I'm simultaneously trying to fill him in on stuff that little secrets of how to get things done in Max that that would have otherwise fallen only to me or to someone like Damon or whoever that used to do some stuff with us. And so, now that I have more time, now that I'm able to kind of turn around and kind of get things going with me and my time and my contracting stuff, then now I'm seeing myself make the kind of difference that I wanted to make earlier, but just didn't have a chance to. And what he's talking about, as far as what I was kind of having to deal with, was I was dealing with some, and not to be like, oh, I have health issues, but I mean, I had stuff that I was dealing with that included, embarrassing and painful kidney stones, and that kind of stuff. It really takes it out of you. I mean, there was a period where I just couldn't even sit at my desk and deal with stuff, and then there was a period where I was getting some operations to fix it, and not just remove the stones, but also go in there and do things to my body to stop the stones from forming, because they were forming because of a weird malfunctioning thing in my neck, which is most people don't even realize. I didn't realize, and it took a while for the doctors to realize that this little gland in my neck was basically telling my body to shed calcium like some kind of beast, like there was no tomorrow. And I was making stones left and right, and they finally figured out why. So the fact that got removed, that little malfunctioning thing got removed, suddenly I'm back to a more normal state now and can actually get stuff done. But before that, man, was it hard. It was hard to even sit down and work in Max, much less try to figure out what problems were going on and how to fix them. So yeah, with all that in mind, it was most definitely a trials and tribulations last year that basically ended up with me hardly having time to even look at stuff, much less fix them. But now I'm hoping that that's going to change, and that in this new year, when we get since new players are coming online, we've got more money in the bank. I'm able to spend some hours and get some stuff done. And with the help of all the folks that have been here today, and and help from Stephen on the occasion he's able to come down, then we're going to start to see things getting checked off the list of stuff that we've been wanting to fix for a while, and the list of stuff that I've been wanting to make for a while as cool stuff for you all to have that I just haven't been able to do. So that's why you're starting to see more new stuff coming online recently. Cool little trays of pastries on holidays that get made. Cool new objects for your garden and for your decorations for your house. The stuff like the Darkstarr metronome. All those little things are stuff that pop up that are like, okay, that sounds cool. I really want to do them. And then with every one of those that gets made, at least one or two bugs get fixed along the way. So that's what I've been through recently, and that's why only recently have you started to see me become active again, because it was a while where I just couldn't do it. I simply could not do it. But now I'm back to a little bit more state of normality, as I really honestly have to readjust to me being able to function in ways that I haven't been able to function in the last 3 years, if you can imagine that. That's why I've been offline for like almost 4 years, is that throughout the whole pandemic, not only was I dealing with everything that everybody else was dealing with, I was also dealing with unending pain. And that unending pain is, you learn to live with it, but it is not easy. And it's quite debilitating, just from something as simple and stupid as a kidney stone. It's just the problems with the fact that they grew, multiples of them grew every month, and I was constantly having to get rid of them, and it was unbelievably ridiculously rough. So now, with all that out of the way, and now that you've heard TMI from me about my health stuff, that just gives you an idea of you never know what's going on in the moral of the story is you just never know what's going on in the background for folks. There are loads of great folks who really care about wanting to make this game awesome. Some of them have had to move on. Some of them have been able to stick around but only do bits and pieces here and there. And some of them, can be going through trials and tribulations you just never imagine, only for them to reappear again and start to touch stuff like it, which is what I'm doing these days. So thank you all for your crazy patience. Thanks for caring and wanting to know, and thanks for listening to my giant list of oh my God, here's what was happening to me over the last 4 years. But I'm just glad to be back and in a state of normality. And that really weirdly is hard to get used to. It's hard to get used to not living in pain if you've been living in pain for 4 years.
Yep.
By the way, I'm going through right now and trying to add all the friends from the wonderful friend requests I've been receiving. So forgive me. Sometimes it takes me a while to realize I need to go in and do that. And so I'll be checking later on at some point in time to see if I've missed any, because I know that there have been folks that have probably added me as a friend or requested me as a friend that I haven't even noticed,
Yep.
just because I'm not in the interface very often.
Yep. So, all right. So, Submarine Mike asked if Devil Cult's still with us, and yeah, Devil Cult is still doing work on the game. In fact, one of the things I even talked about this last month is I've asked him specifically to work on making it so that way I could pre-schedule a number of months worth of logins, subscriber rewards, and Crown Store sales. The benefit to this, at least my main goal, is so that way I don't have to have the pressure of doing a monthly release that's actually having patches every month per se. We'll still be doing a monthly thing at minimum. But maybe even more so of like a early Monday morning type of maintenance window where we reboot the server, so that way we clean up the memory and memory leaks and stuff like that, which every game has. But in addition to that, this will allow us to have multiple sales in a month. So like I could actually put crowns on sale for like a weekend here and do another thing there, and more granular type of situations. And then in addition, I have other plans that I've talked about in the past as well, like reactivating the web store, so that way during streams, I could say, okay, we're going to do a sale on a specific item and actually do real sales, as opposed to the random stuff in game. Because I can't tell you how many people have said, hey, could you put this on sale next in the crowns? We have no control over that. That's actually a completely an RNG thing. Every 2 hours, the game itself selects from a pool of stuff and puts another 9 items on sale for 2 hours.
Mm.
And I mean, back when that system was put together, it was the way to go. But too much of it was hard coded. Not enough of it had configuration options to it, and it's going to take a little bit for us to go in there and fix this type of stuff the way it's set up now. So anyway, that's a major thing that Devilcult's working on. Now, I distracted myself off of somebody was wanted to know what I was working on, and I think it was leading into Player Dungeons. So right now, this next development cycle, I need to finish the lava pools. One of the things Scotty was talking about when we work together, and he helps me we're fixing bugs, and in addition to some of the new items that he's making and things along those lines, was the lava pools. They were made in such a way, and this is not Elgarian put them into the game, but Elgarian did not make the items. They pre-existed in Brittany Estates, and they were only meant to be world items, meaning that they're part of the world building set of tools. They were never really meant to be player deco. And in this particular set of components that he ended up using as player deco, they weren't made correctly. Or, well, can't really say correctly. They were made using a tool that's not really the best. And it made them in a bad way, which works fine for a scene, but not for player deco. So that
Right.
was one thing that we had to fix, and we rebuilt it. And as it's edification for me as well as to how to do these things. So when he says Max, what he's talking about is the 3D modeler. So that opens up a lot of doors. If I could get to a point where I will never be at his level, like he's said, it's not true tutorage, but if I could get to a point where I could identify something that needs to be fixed in the mesh, then I could at least go in there, edit, and fix things. And my dream would actually be able to get to a point where I could work on houses. I know that Laney would like to do that, and I don't know, maybe even Allium would like to work on houses. If we could all get to the point where we have something of the skill set, all the various
Yeah,
skill
I can
sets.
think of some minor changes that I
Yeah.
could make to copies of existing houses that I would like.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, this would be a good thing, right? And that's really what it comes down to is getting people who don't currently have skill sets. Sanyo already has a lot of skill sets with this stuff. Devil Cult, excuse me, Devil Cult has skill sets in 3D modeling as well. But he's mainly a programmer, and Sanyo is mainly a world builder. So, and these are definitive major roles that we can't just become generalists for.
Oh,
So,
of course, and it's important to note. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, but it's important to note again that the issue with some of the items that were made in that way that you're talking about, which is it's something that can be done in Unity. It was done because at the time when we were trying to get a bunch of stuff in, there were only so many artists to go around. I mean, this is including back in the days when we had a huge team, right? Trying to get stuff done and get stuff into the game and get stuff in the players' hands. It was something that everyone really wanted to do. But the problem is that if you weren't an artist and you didn't have access to the tools to do it quote unquote properly, then you were tempted to use tools, and sometimes allowed even by the managers to use tools at the time that normally would not be the ones that an artist would choose to use, including stuff that was like add-ons to Unity and things like that, where making them inside of those environments, though you had access to it as a designer, it didn't necessarily assure that at the end of the day those objects would function properly. And so That's a big deal. That's a big deal because you only realize the problems that rise up much later, and that's when folks like us find them. I mean,
Hmm.
the folks, unfortunately, that worked on those things aren't here any longer, and they did not know that it would cause these problems.
Right.
Now we see the problems manifest, and now we try to fix them as best we can. So yeah, that was something that Stephen and I played with the last time he was down here, that we didn't fully figure out yet. We're still digging in and trying to figure out, why is this failing to work in X, Y, and Z ways. And believe us, we went through like what, 7 or 8 different possibilities, just trying to like slowly but surely test. Well, now we test this. No, that didn't fix it. Okay, now we test this. No, that didn't fix it. And
Yep.
it's shocking how long it takes to go through each cycle of testing to rule out what does and doesn't work.
And
And
sorry, I'm going to interrupt a little bit here.
sure.
So, as an example, I have up on the screen right now a picture of the clover pavers. This is from, geez, was that last month or the month before? I don't remember now. Oh yeah, last month.
Last month.
Yep.
Last month, yeah.
It feels like 6 months ago to me. I don't know. Um,
A lot's been
but
going on.
yeah, I mean, for those of you who've had these pavers, the original ones without the flowers, in the game, they've been around for a while, and they were horrible. And this goes to something, some of the stuff that Scotty was just saying, is that um, when Portalarium was doing stuff, in some cases, they didn't understand the tools, and
Yeah.
they thought they were setting a compression level, but they were actually against images, but they were actually setting something that caused stretching of the image and therefore blurriness. That plus the normal files, which the normal file is what gives a flat image the appearance of a 3D depth.
Yes.
Applies shadows and stuff to it.
It's also been called a bump map.
Yeah, bump maps, right. So the ones for the clover were so bad that it literally looked like that, like, let's say your dog took a bunch of clover, chewed it up, and spit it out, and then that mulch was what was the pavers. It was real bad.
Yeah, it was spinach.
Yeah, and
Canned
now
spinach.
these clovers here are actually the original clover pavers, and all I did was fix well, I shouldn't say all, but mainly I fixed the resolution on the images in our database, in our project, and they're immediately 1,000 times better. And then I added in flowers and stuff to give a new set of a new type of clover pavers and put that into the game. But the old ones got a bump, an improvement pass, and we, by doing this, discovered that there's a ton of stuff in the game that the graphics don't look good because the texture settings are wrong. So
Yeah.
as we find them, we're fixing them, and there's a good percentage of graphics that need to be cleaned up. And I still haven't gotten down the rest of my list, but I want to inject here. Definitely say happy birthday, Darkstarr, in the game if you haven't already, and or even if you did before, say it again just to give it a good luck bump. And I'm going to run three more prize innings since we're into the next hour here. So going back to what I was saying, so lava pools are my highest priority right now because I've been working on them for a while. They've been broken, well, since they came out. And I saw somebody in chat said, and I apologize because I would have read off your name, but I missed who it was a while back, who said that, yeah, when you put them down, you could get burnt. There's a number of things wrong with them. So the mesh was wrong. We fixed that. I actually have a version of the lava pool in my copy of the project here that improves the look of the surface of the lava, and the damage field, or what you call damage collision. I brought it in a little bit so that way if you're walking around the circumference of the lava pool, you don't get burned. which should also prevent you from getting burned when you're placing it. Then uh, the last problem I have, which I think I may have a solution, but I'm not sure yet, is the fact that very specifically, and again, this took a lot of testing and everything. Flare Minamoto was out there. I know she was involved in testing over, and this is over the course of like a year. Um, we've determined that um, very specifically, and again, Allium was involved in this as well, including a lot of players and the Bug Brigade. And I mean, so it's like if I haven't mentioned a person, you're all involved because I know there was a lot of testing on this and a lot of input. Um, but we've isolated it down to if you try to cast a fishing, these are lava pools for fishing. So if you cast when you're facing east, if you're on the west end of the lava pool and you face east and you cast, you will not get the prompt. The glyph to do the cast. And same thing if you're facing north. So if you're on the south side of it or facing north in any way, shape, or form, then it won't work. And it's only those two specific things. Some of the players might be saying, but mine didn't work at all. Well, we found that there were conflicts with other items, like the lava fishing trophies themselves, and haystacks, and a bunch of other deco. It was another thing that we went over into great detail in the last stream from last month. So, if you want to hear more about that, you could go watch that on YouTube. But the bottom line is that we found problems there. We fixed those, and I think that a lot of people had their lava pools placed in places where those were conflicting. It was causing you to not be able to cast at all. So right now we've isolated it down to a very specific thing. And I have to say that, I mean, I brought this up like a year ago when we were first testing it, Flair and I, and we thought maybe the skybox had something to do with it, meaning the dome, the sky. And then I discounted it myself, actually, after about 3 or 4 days, because I wasn't getting consistent results, and that probably had something to do with the other issues like the mesh and these other conflicting objects. But it turns out that I could make the problem go away if I turn off the skybox in the editor. So definitely narrowed it down. I know what I'm looking at now, and I'm tearing that apart. So I'm going to need to take some time during this next cycle after lockdown is lifted and work on that and see if I could get that fixed. Once that's done, then I'm going to move on and finally finish the Lottie scene. The Lord of the Isle was the last pledge, quote unquote, that was created by Portalarium. The original pledges ended, I think, in mid 2016, 2017. No, mid 20. Yeah, August of 2017. They started closing down the pledges, if I remember correctly. So by 2018, all the pledges were done and closed out. There were certain exclusivities that carried along with those and everything, and a lot of that stuff was carried through until as the next phase into the catnip phase of development, after Portalarium was changed over to catnip, a bunch of that stuff started to wane away. We're now 10 years into development, so I think it's safe to say that the pledges are completely finished and closed from the original Portalarium stuff. The Lottie pledge was created right towards the end of Portalarium's existence, and the fulfillment of that carried over into catnip. So the outstanding items on the Lord of the Isle pledge include a basement scene that when you go into it, you're actually going to a version of the fishing expedition scene. For those of you who have been in game and seen that, it's basically an archipelago of a few islands, and this is a special scene that's been created for those people who pledged about $7,000 a piece to do that. We are no longer doing pledges of that size, but I might still do bundles and something of a pledge, but it's not going to be phrased as a pledge, and they will not be that expensive. Even the POTs are too expensive for my taste, but we can't make changes to that at the moment. I'm hoping to figure out something better for the POTs as well. So, that's a longer story I can't really get into now, but we'll figure that out. So the point is that the only outstanding pledge that I have to address is the Lord of the Isle, and this basement scene is one item that still needs to be done, and there's an in-game version of some rings, Lord of the Isle rings that need to be made, which come with their own special issues because we don't have any way to show jewelry in the game right now. So you would not be able to see it on your character, but we have to
Only your paper doll.
yeah, and we have to figure out how to make, because they were promised as deco, this is where we all collectively cringe, because if we put the rings into the game, they'll be so tiny, it's like, unless we make a bigger ring, that wouldn't make sense. So, that's the challenge that we have to figure out as far as the consistency of the immersion. So, those are the two items that are left for that. So we'll get that done there. And then the third thing after that is the player dungeons, and I definitely have a whole slew of stuff that needs to be done in player dungeons. There are bugs that need to be corrected in a bunch of the rooms, and I do have a chart of new rooms that I need to make. There's stairways that have been requested. There's a lava pool fishing grotto. There's a whole bunch of different types of player dungeon rooms that need to be created and or even fixed. The first stage of that is to chart everything, and that's something the chart was started, but has to be gone through. And there's, I think it's like 150 components right now, if not more. The reason why this has to be charted out is because we have, like, let's say the green marble set. There are only certain pieces that exist, and then you go into the stone set. I'm just gonna say the stone set because I don't remember the exact names of some of this stuff. And there are more pieces, so I want to make every set have the same pieces across the board. So I'm making a grid. Or what I said in the back in the day when I first started this was it's a matrix because it's kind of three-dimensional. There's going to be I need to plot out all of the dungeon sets that we have, make sure there's foyers for all of those things, that they're all working correctly, and then have all hallways, have all the different rooms and all the things. So and transitions, that's one of the other things that was never really finished correctly, is proper transitions from one set to another. So yeah, that's a lot of stuff to do, and that's going to be a major endeavor after I get these two things out of the way that I need to do. The lava pools is a major bug that's a popular thing in the game, needs to be fixed. The Lottie scene is a way overdue commitment that I had made to do, so it needs to be finished up, and then we'll be able to move forward from there. So hope that answers the question of what I'm doing recently. Plus, of course, I'm doing some programming myself. I got more things to do inside the project to clean up. So let's see if there's any more questions that I missed while I was rambling on.
Well, one thing I must mention is that I need to flee. We are reaching the end of the cycle of it all, and I have an engagement I must get to. But I just wanted to let everyone know how much of a pleasure it was to join in on the celebration of Darkstar's birthday. Again, happy birthday, Darkstarr, Lord of Chaos, and speaking as you just did. My intention is to continue working on stuff for folks. And I will be utilizing you as the main conduit through which we figure out what cool things come next. And I'll be talking to you later on once we get off the stream. Not tonight, but we'll figure out what the next thing is that you all are good with me crowing about as I make another post or two on the forums over the next month pertaining to things that I either have already worked on and finished and can finally talk about, or things that we're planning on. So. I just wanted to say thanks again. It was a pleasure to see all of you all. Thank you all for all the friend requests and such. And at some point in time, I'll come back on here and enjoy meeting more folks and enjoy the company of the fellow players as well as my fellow devs. So you guys have a fantastic evening. Take care, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. See you later, man.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Okay, and I'm running the prizenings, the final prizenings for the day, and then we'll wrap the stream up as well. It says that it's running it, but I don't see it coming in here. Why do I not see that? Come on, there's one. Okay, good. All right. So let's see. Yeah, actually, the longer streams they can be a little taxing, but as long as there's stuff to talk about, I think it is kind of a good deal to do.
Yeah, I'm about to turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah, I know. And it's we're this way, so we're just gonna do the prizenings and then we'll go. I mean, this is why, the Portalarium used to do the telethons, and they did what,
Yeah, but they swapped out. When we do streams,
Mhm.
we're all here the entire time.
Exactly right. And it's I don't foresee us ever going back to the footprint of the telethons as they were before, but I can see us I can see us doing periodic longer streams, and as long as we could start formatting and scheduling out and having segments, so that way, it's like it's like when you have a rock concert and everybody vacates the stage so they could all go have a smoke and a drink while the drummer keeps going on the stage, So poor drummers. Scan4, you're very welcome. This is definitely where, you know, I personally feel I'm rambling, but it's if you guys like it and it's informative and it's makes you guys understand better where we are and what we're doing, then I'm all for it. So right, the second, yeah, let's see now. Come on, prizening thing. Script is running, but it's not popping the results I'm looking for. Yay, we got another one. All right, one more, just one more. That will be
Come
good.
on, little server, you can do it.
The prize bot has actually been running better than it used to. I moved it over to a different server so that way it doesn't conflict with other things that are running in the system. It's you'd be surprised how much stuff has to run. Every hour there's things running for the leaderboards and
the API and play
Yeah,
for a few hours and database backups and
yeah, and it's some of that stuff you can't run other things while that's going on. So I moved this one over to another server, and the only issue I have right now is the duplicates, where somebody could win something more than once, and which doesn't happen that often, which is
and
fine.
also apparently we need a dev blacklist.
I was thinking that as well, but although that's kind of, I mean, especially, I mean, we know well enough not to use the phrase ourselves, but for the most part,
There's a happy birthday message. Everybody was saying that.
yeah, but I mean, it actually, I'm not sure if I want to blacklist the devs, because if a dev does it, then the dev gets to give it to another player, you know.
True.
But at least I can put it in as a flag. That's the other thing I'd like to do, is set up the prize bot, so that way instead of running them one at a time, tell it to go run 3 of them.
Yeah.
So anyway, whatever. Internal stuff nobody cares about, I'm sure.
And
Okay.
there's the third.
Yep, and there's third. So so we're now in the last few minutes here. Do you want to split it up, or you want me to just read it off? It's up to you.
Sure, we'll split it.
I'm losing my voice too. Okay. I'll do the names, I guess.
Okay. The 2024 Total Eclipse Cloak goes to
Sage Rain, Ill One, and Mika Oda.
the two-handed Darkstarr sword goes to
Stymie, Smoke a Lot, Drink a Lot, and Knight Rider.
the Darkstarr Heavy Chaos Shield goes to
Supes, Elier Dirok, and Chirpy. Or Chepri, sorry.
Darkstarr Silver Moondial goes to
Diener, Sagra TV, and Nico Stormraven.
and the Darkstarr Metronome goes to
Sentinel, Feather Oreblade, and Christ Pallid. Congratulations to all the winners for the entire stream. That's a lot of winners and a lot of prizes. You know, thanks to Lainey for sending them out. And if Lainey needs some assistance, then obviously I could help out. This is a lot of stuff to send out this time.
Yeah. At least we can poof one and duplicate it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So, anyway, much appreciation to the rest of the team for everything they do, and especially in this type of situation. Lainey does take time over her weekend to send these things out usually, so I would expect that you should see these prizes sent out to you sometime between now and the end of Monday. I don't want to make promises on her behalf, so
Especially
sometimes.
since tomorrow is going to be awfully busy.
Yes, that's right. Oh, yeah, good point. We should bring that up. So for anybody who's going to be around in the game tomorrow, we have an event. We have the annual egg hunt. We are going to run that at 9 a.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Central Time, and 9 p.m. Central Time. The event will run an hour long. Will be an hour long each time for each window. And it will be held in Mount Madeir. Don't bother going there because you can't get in. So we've locked the scenes so that way nobody could go in there and figure out where the eggs are. But basically, you'll want to meet up with Lainey and the rest of us. I guess I think we're all going to be there, or most, or some of us will be there at least.
Someone has to be standing around summoning bunnies.
Yeah, and of course I gotta unlock the scene for you guys too. Anyway, so we'll see you tomorrow morning. Yeah, Jesus, tomorrow already. So yeah, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central or thereabouts to do the Easter egg hunt and or egg hunt. We don't say Easter around here, and and then we'll go from there. So yeah, Lainey's gonna be very busy tomorrow. So I expect that the prizings may be delayed by a day or two to be sent out. So I wouldn't expect her to send everything out as well. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, definitely more now going into my my brain is shutting down as well. So I think we are good to go. Let me see. Is there any last minute thingies? No, looks all good. Okay, cool. All right. Yes. Let's go find a raid. And I think you sent. Because I must be doing it wrong when I do that.
Yeah, I sent you a couple that were active like half an hour ago, and they both still are.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
actually, they all still are.
Let's see if I can read these things. So, blah blah blah. Okay. Do. Oh, all right. Well, that's a new name that I see, so I think that I'm going to go with that one. Okay. I'm not telling you
You're not telling us what?
who the person is. All right, so here we go. Oh no. Yeah, okay. I ran into a problem earlier, so I got to do a thing here. Hold on. I got to do it elsewhere. My OBS is not letting me give commands and stuff. It says I'm not logged in, so something weird is going on there.
Actually, hold on, Merrick. Who was not speaking English? We do generally try to pick an English speaker.
Yeah, which one is
Although
that?
not always.
This raid. Merrick. Which stream are you talking about? All right. Well, then I guess I think I'm gonna do. I will do this one. Blah 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 blah. Okay, there
There we go. It popped up.
we go. Awesome. All right, we're sending them a nice sized raid. 78 people. All right, well, thank you once again for hanging out with us for what is now, I guess, is our longest stream in quite some time. Maybe since Lord Burgess's birthday. I think we hit just about 4 hours, right?
And we didn't get interrupted by ads.
Yeah, look at that. It didn't die on us this time. Wow. All right. Well, hopefully, because again, OBS was acting strange, so I'm hoping that the VOD and everything will work correctly. But I will get this up on YouTube overnight, so that way, if anybody wants to review, it'll be up there. Again, once again, thank you for hanging out with us. Thanks for playing the game and giving it a chance. And tell your friends. You know, the more people we get in, the more people who subscribe, the better off we'll be, because then we could do more mechanics and more of the core game improvements and expansion that we want to do. And don't forget to, if you buy the 10,000 Kodo pack, then you get a 2024 version of the Darkstarr metronome. And we got cut off.
Okay.